which some have speculated may have been a direct reference to the date August 10th, which is when he reportedly killed himself. And that's not all. Number 2. The files also contain an image of Epstein's dead body laid out on a stretcher, which was said to have been taken in the minutes following his death. But something in the image felt off. Epstein was missing the barbed wire tattoo on his left bicep, a tattoo clearly visible in countless other photos of him. Some speculate the person in the picture wasn't Epstein at all, but a body double. Others think he may have simply had the tattoo removed. Either way, it's suspicious, but the most troubling piece of evidence is still to come. Number 1. One file has been called the craziest to emerge from the entire set of released documents. It revolves around a post shared on the message board 4chan, purportedly by a security guard at the prison where Epstein was held. In the post, the alleged guard claims that Epstein was actually taken from his cell in a wheelchair in the hours leading up to his suicide and driven away. The poster concludes that the sex trafficker must have been switched out for someone else, backing up the terrifying prospect that he might still be alive out there somewhere. The Epstein files continue to stun and shock, but how did we end up here? Watch the horrifying true story of Jeffrey Epstein, or click on this video instead.
Okay, I'm live now. I'll just watch my stream over there. Well, let's turge on that 70%. 70%. Who's texting me? Who's texting me? They say when a betta fish makes
This is a 200-pound block.
a bubble nest, that means that it's mature or healthy. But you will see fish of all ages making bubble nests in all types of conditions.
Block of marble. And this is the sound of me having no idea what I'm doing.
It's a little dustier than I thought.
I have only 3 weeks to carve this into a sculpture worthy enough to be entered into one of the country's largest art shows. This video is sponsored by Squarespace. I know nothing about marble. And not just marble, I don't know anything about any type of stone. I don't even have tools to work with these stones yet. But the reason why I want to give this a
Why
try
is it so cold in
because
here?
when I think
Just have
about
the heater
great
on.
sculptors, the first thing I
Why
think
is the
about
heater
is
off?
marble sculptors. Marble
guys
is
turn the heater
considered
off
one
again?
of the hardest materials to work with.
Who's turning
And
that
that's
heater
why I
off?
want
How
to
do you guys
challenge
do it?
myself like I've
I wanna
never
know, like,
challenged
how do you-
myself before. First things
How are you
first,
guys
let's
doing
buy some basic stone carving tools.
All right. A little
It's not
nervous.
on timer.
Very first time
I have
cutting
the
into
window
marble.
open, so it's not like I
Wish
got
me
too
luck.
warm.
This is Calicut marble, sourced from Italy, and I
understand.
bought it from a great guy named Miles who owns the company To
Nuts.
Sculpt. I purchased this piece as well as 2 other marble stones that you saw in the back of my truck, and a set of basic stone carving tools. I can't thank Miles enough for helping me get started.
It's a little dust. It's a little dustier than I thought. At least the top matches the bottom now.
That's funny. That's for sure.
Right now I'm just trying to square up this block so I can make a melamine mold around it and hold all the epoxy. And let me show you my vision right here. I want to make a classic Roman torso sculpture where the bottom half is marble and then the top half is crystal clear epoxy. And I really like this block of marble for this piece because its top side has this organic triangular slope to it, which I think could make this piece look really cool.
Why is he using the marble to get a marble on it? I don't know.
This is a very dusty situation, but luckily I think the dust is so heavy that it actually just kind of settles pretty quickly and doesn't really venture off into the street or my backyard or any of the other spaces. It kind of stays contained into this area, which is nice. Now that I got this block square, I need to clean up the top. This top you're actually going to see through the epoxy in the finished sculpture, so any kind of dust or debris or this kind of grime that you see here is going to be seen on the finished sculpture, so I want to make this as clean as possible.
Oh, he's actually finishing. I thought he was gonna leave it natural.
After a couple hours of cleanup and sanding, this thing is looking beautiful. Check out the veining on this thing. It is so cool. Now that that's done, I run into my next problem. Usually, I am able to lift a piece of wood into a melamine mold. This thing is over 200 pounds, and I am not lifting this and dropping it into a melamine mold. So basically, I'm gonna have to build a mold around this piece.
that makes sense. How are you gonna carve the epoxy and the marble like one piece? It's gonna be different densities.
Time for the epoxy. 2 more. See what kind of scraps I have and see if I could actually carve something out of it and try and learn as much as possible.
I like a little more.
I'm going to try and carve a T-Rex tooth. I think this is a really good first attempt because I'm super familiar with the shape. I've made at least 100 of these out of wood before, but even more so, I know it takes me exactly 45 minutes to an hour to start and finish one out of wood. So this will be a really good test so I can compare and see how long the marble one takes. I also think that the really thin tip is a perfect test for me to see the breaking point of marble. I'm basically expecting this thing to break.
You wanna lay down with me? Oh, okay, bye.
I'm not really sure what tool to use and when, so I'm just kind of playing around with all the different tools I have so I can get a feel for them. So far, I'm actually amazed this thing hasn't fractured.
I'm gonna scoop you in one. That's why you're here. I see your tail up.
There it
Now you
is.
have to
Now, this is what I was expecting to happen on the tip of the tooth, but not here. Off camera, I was just putting, I guess, a little too much pressure on the rotary burr and it completely shattered. I'm not upset one bit. I'm actually taking this opportunity to see if I could actually fix this thing and see if it looks like it was broken. So far, sanding is very slow. I mean, very, very slow. And once I sand a 5000 grit, I'm gonna add a polishing compound and see what it looks like. I wanna hear what you guys think, but I absolutely love this thing. You can barely even see the fracture and it just feels good in your hand. It's crazy how heavy this little thing is. Oh, and as far as timing goes, this took me, no joke, around 4 hours to make. So this is about 4 times more time consuming than making a wooden one, and I'm that much more nervous about finishing the main sculpture in time for the art show. All right, the experimenting's done. Let's get to finishing our epoxy pours. This has got to be one of the clearest epoxy pours I've ever done. And I have a feeling that's because there's no porous surface on this marble. When I pour epoxy on wood, it has all these open pores and gaps and cracks and areas for bubbles to get trapped and then release on the pour. With this piece, there's not a single bubble, and this is the clearest piece of epoxy I've ever poured. All right, this is the moment of no return. It's time to start my very first marble carving.
Oh, okay, bye. Okay, bye. Richard, why don't you need me to open the window? You come here and give me the scoopy. The scoopy scoop. He doesn't even get his such a good little boy, kitten. He's a good little kitten.
One of the biggest problems I'm having right now is the difference in carvability between the epoxy and the marble. With the marble, I do all the relief cuts and then I could chisel it off, and it's a semi-predictable break from my hour of experience thus far. But the epoxy is completely unpredictable. You cannot chisel epoxy. It might fracture throughout the whole center of this sculpture. So I basically have to do two kind of cut lines, one separating the epoxy from the marble, and then carve them at different times.
I think that was it.
While I continue carving this, let me tell you about the art show, which is only a couple weeks away. I've never been to an art show before. I have. I'm in the description. All right, it's day 2, and here are my takeaways from a full day carving marble and epoxy. It's technically not more complicated than a wooden epoxy sculpture. I'm doing the same technique of carving up to my lines. It's just carving the marble portion is 10 times slower and more physically demanding than wood. If this were a wood sculpture, wooden epoxy, chainsaw, boom, 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 within an hour I could probably get to this point. This took me all day yesterday, and it's just, I mean, my forearm is still sore from yesterday, and it is a ton of work, but also really fun. I love the hammer and chisel. It's super fun and just different to work with, so I am very excited to get after this thing today.
That probably, I'd love to be this guy's neighbor. That probably sounds amazing. Right when you're laughing all day. Like all your ants are ready. All the ants are in there. Cancer.
I'm hoping one of you guys can tell me what this is. Inside this chunk, and actually on the sculpture too, there are these metal fragments embedded in the marble. Is this like a natural metallic vein, or like what is this gold? Should I save this? I don't know what it is, but I'm hoping one of you guys know what it is, and please let me know down in the comments if I should be hoarding this.
What should I do with them? Make a sculpture. Glue them together with epoxy. Like a porcupine.
Alright, the time has come. I get to start working on the epoxy, a material that I'm a little bit more familiar with, and I get to use tools that I'm much more familiar with. So let's get shaping this epoxy.
I was gonna say, where is... Oh, you had the thing there. Even the thighs? Your titties stick up.
Now I'm getting into some of the more difficult areas, like between the legs. I need to figure out what tool to use to get into these narrow spaces, and I'm honestly just having a ton of fun experimenting with all the different tools I have and just kind of figuring out how marble works. I know I'm very early on with my marble carving career, but I could see myself doing this more, and I do have 2 more stones that I will make in the future, but this, as of right now, is really fun to work with. And speaking of those other 2 stones, you guys need to let me know what I should carve out of them. One of them is a jet black marble with white veining, and the other one is a stezazine, some kind of stezazine, something like that. And anyways, it's white, but it has a little bit of purple and gray veining. So what should I carve out of these? All right, it is day 3. Yesterday went really well, but I consider this the awkward stage in any sculpture, where it's just bad. You could kind of see the shape, but it's just way too bulky. There's way too much mass on this still, so we have to take off a ton of material, and this is the least confident stage I have carving, because any mistake now will translate into the final sculpture. So today, I'm gonna take my time, really start rounding things out and slowly taking away material to get this to the final shape.
I bet you touched that more than your wife this week. Just kidding.
Hey guys, I have a goal of reaching 1 million subscribers. You're helping me continue to make these videos, something I am so fortunate to be able to do for a living. Thanks, guys. I am really liking carving with marble. It's a beautiful piece of marble. And I am quickly becoming a big marble guy. And I don't have any merch, I don't sell any merch or anything like that, but if I did, you're looking at it right here. It'd be just like this. Big marble guy. Big marble guy. Big marbles. Big marbles on that guy. This sculpture will be listed for sale at the art show and over on my website. And speaking of websites, I want to thank this video's sponsor, Squarespace. Squarespace offers flexible website templates with options to customize your As you can see here, I'm adding kind of a texture to the arms and then the neck. I want to create that kind of crumbled look when you, again, look back at those Roman sculptures where it's, you know, an arm chopped off. It's not a clean line. It's a kind of crumbly, natural break in the stone, and that's what I'm trying to achieve by doing this here. I made a huge mistake, and I don't even know when I did it. I think I did it on day 2 and I just noticed it right now, but there is something that I don't think I'm going to be able to fix on this. Let me show you. So look at the back here. We have the kind of scap and back muscle curving around to the shoulder.
You need to
Look
draw
on
an
this
S.
side. I completely carved it away. And it looks terrible. It looks so bad. This is not something I can fix. It's not like I can pour more epoxy here. There's really only 2 things I can do. One is just leave it as is and kind of shape everything and see if I can get it looking a little bit better with a little carving down everything. Or number 2, see how I'm going for the kind of crumbled, chopped off look. I could possibly crumble this whole area so then this section looks like it's knocked off, which could work, but I would be nervous about making it even worse. So I think I'm going to stick to option 1, just leave it and try and make it work. It's just it's so frustrating because if this were a marble problem, like it fractured or me being new at working with marble, I could understand that. But I have no excuse for this. I just wasn't thinking. Let's see if we can get this thing looking good, and we'll see how noticeable this mistake is when it's done. Let's keep working on it. I'm actually going to start really rough sanding this thing right now. I always see the sculptures a little bit better. I could pick up on the proportions or areas that I need to shave down a little bit if I have a smooth surface. So I'm going to just roughly sand this down so I can get a better feel for the overall form. I don't know how marble does this, but it just looks like skin. Just the texture, the sheen of it is very skin-like, and you could tell why these great sculptors use marble. I mean, it makes sense now. I get why they love using this material. I mean, I'm a big marble guy already, and this is my first sculpture. All right, we're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Today I want to take down these ribs. I think they're a little too pronounced. And then on the back side, I'm gonna round this over a little bit. Because right here, you actually go from like an indent of the back to actually like your vertebrae bones kind of sticking out. So starting here, I kind of want to have those protrude out a little bit. So I'm going to take some material down. I'm hoping by the end of today, this thing is ready for finish sanding. Sanding this is no joke. I've used more sandpaper than any other sculpture I've ever done, and that's including way bigger sculptures than this. And I think the marble just doles out the sandpaper super easily. And yes, I'm using the right sandpaper. I'm a big marble guy. I did my research. I'm using silicone carbide, and I'm still going through an insane amount of sanding discs. Nothing to see here. This is completely normal. This is just a big marble guy giving a nice friendly bath to his good old lady friend in a tub. You guys are the sickos watching this kind of stuff. All right, we are on the home stretch. This thing is sanded to 5,000 grit, and I think I'm just gonna put some polishing compound on it, and then I need to figure out what kind of finish you use on marble. I found out you could use some wax or oil just like I do on my wood sculptures, and I really like this Bumbleshoots wood conditioner because it's white. A lot of wood finishes are actually yellow, and I would be really afraid to put anything yellow on this sculpture. This has got to be one of the most fun sculptures I've ever carved, and if you guys can't tell, I enjoy making these videos too, with all these goofy things going on. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video because I loved every part of it. This sculpture is headed off to Arizona, and I hope to see some of you there. March 19th through the 22nd. If you're there, come check it out.
I'd love
come say
to.
hi. Love to see you guys. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thanks, guys. Oh, one last thing. Probably didn't notice it in the video, but this thing is still freakishly heavy for how small of a sculpture it is. So let's weigh it and then get to the final reveal.
280 pounds. 280 pounds. Ooh, 76.
76.6.
I don't know. I thought it was too heavy to carry.
Okay, hold up. This is the first time I've actually had like studio lights on the sculpture, and I immediately saw all of these scuff marks from places that I missed sanding. So I'm going all the way back to 220 grit, and I'm gonna resand this entire thing. And then after that, I'm gonna polish it, and this time I'm actually gonna use a power buffer to see if that makes a difference.
Okay, let's go. Let's do it. Fix it up, babe. Fix it up, babe. You got this. You got this.
I can immediately start seeing a difference, and I am so glad I went back and did this. I was going back and forth whether or not I wanted to do this, and I couldn't be happier that I took the time to do this properly.
Okay, let's do it before.
If that all the way back had like studio lights on the sculpture, and I immediately saw all the way back, and that's took the time that it's complete. There's only one thing left to do. Rebrand. Big Marble Guy is proud to present you with a finished sculpture.
Maybe when the big chunk cut off. It's beautiful. I think he could do better. I can't wait to see him come back to this one and do better next time. Oh, hell yeah. I went back to Ibiza. There's my Tibby cat. It's in my gum. Are you purring? Oh, what's going on? You smell something? I'm gonna close the window. Where's the kitten? Oh, the kitten's over there. Meow, 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 meow.
I went back to Ibiza and got a hotel by the shore. But now I'm 12 years older and I'm 10 years sober, and Avicii isn't here no more. I moved out of LA. I'm trying to start a little family, 'cause all the things I was taking and decisions I was making had me headed towards tragedy. But now I really wanna live my life. Now I really wanna shine my light. You know I just wanna give what I got to the world and then go back home.
Aw.
'Cause I only get this one life, so I think I'm gonna give my life up to God, 'cause he's got me back on stage singing.
God? A
Got me
non-existent
back
picture
on
of you.
stage
Okay,
singing.
God ain't here. He hasn't been here. He's not here. I don't have a God.
I love songs,
If there was one, he'd be here.
love songs, darling. All I know, I love songs, love songs. I'm just a human. I'm trying to do what's true to me. But the fame and the money and the ghost of my 20s try to make me who I used to be. But God's got my back, yeah. So every time I feel fear, I give thanks I'm alive. Almost died 2 times. There's a reason that I'm still right here. You know I just wanna live my life. Now I really wanna shine my light. You know I just wanna give what I got to the world and then go back home. 'Cause I only get this one life, so I think I'm gonna give my life up to God, 'cause he's got me back on stage singing. Got me back on stage singing. All I know, I love songs, love songs, darling. All I know, I love songs, love songs. Hey! All I know, I love songs, love songs, darling. All I know, I love songs, love songs.
That was cute. I liked it. What is that? Sick. Copper Rose. No experience. I don't care about gorillas. I don't want to watch gorillas. They're a fucking mom.
It's Christmas Day at a Walgreens
Christmas
parking lot
Day.
in Gainesville, Florida,
Christmas
where a
Day.
security camera catches the moment a woman allegedly shoots 2 people, leaving one dead and another seriously injured.
Oh, I thought it was a cop.
Seconds later, the suspect is caught on camera again fleeing the scene. But an officer working a nearby traffic crash is hot on her trail as he immediately pursues the suspect, triggering a high-speed chase. We'll catch up with them shortly. Meanwhile, other officers descend on the crime scene.
We're doing child molester. We've got her on the phone. Pigtail, go with it, plus. What do you need, Tater? Let's get ketamine and rock.
Are still on the road on 441 North.
And who shot you? Amanda who? Jensen. Amanda Jensen, why'd she shoot you? Huh? Why did she shoot you? I'm picking up my daughter. You're picking up a daughter? Court order. Okay. All right, you little paramedics get it on you.
You heard that right. One of the victims tells police the mother of his infant daughter was responsible for the double shooting that left 31-year-old Anna Terrell dead during a custody exchange. Next, we join one officer as that high-speed chase comes to a screeching halt.
Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Get out of the car! Hey, watch your crossfire! Show me your hands! Show me your hands! Hands up! Now!
By the way, what do the body cams on Law and Crime prove? Maybe that the world is unpredictable, and sometimes when those scary and unpredictable situations arise, having a great lawyer matters, right? Well, that is where our partner and sponsor...
No! Come here now!
My kids are in the car.
Come here now!
Have you ever wanted to be sued? Perhaps. Have you ever wanted to be sued by multiple entities at the same time, filling every orifice with a lawsuit? I would imagine no. That's an awfully hot copied spot. We're talking about Pikmin copying the homework of multiple big titles to like an almost comical degree. Like, this would be something that I feel like would be almost satirical from like a game development student in college making this as like a, I don't know, project piece for class, never actually anticipating selling it or anything because they know that they would get fucking biblically smacked down by the companies that they are heavily borrowing from. And borrowing is doing a lot of heavy lifting there. That is loosey-goosey because it is almost one-to-one carbon copy a clone. That's right, I'm talking about Pikmin. Pikmin is a game that came out of nowhere with a trailer that kind of got a lot of eyebrows raised because it is strikingly similar to Pow World, Pokemon, Zelda, and even a sprinkle, a hint of Overwatch. So Pikmin is being developed by a studio named Pocket Pair, who has a remarkable track record of their first game. Now, the name Pocket Pair might have, made you feel like you'd heard it before, and it's because you're probably getting it confused with the developer of Pow World. Their name is Pocket Game. It seems Pocket Pair was very inspired not only by Pow World itself, but even the studio's name. They wanted to take inspiration from almost one-to-one. Not only studio name, they also really liked the description that Pow World uses on their Steam page because they lifted that bitch almost one-to-one as well.
Wow.
Dive into a vast, uncharted continent filled with ancient civilizations and mysterious creatures called Pikmin. In this multiplayer open-world survival crafter, you'll team up with your Pikmin to fight, farm, and build industrial empires while thwarting a shadowy organization's plot. Now let's take a peek at what Palworld describes its game as. Fight, farm, build, and work alongside mysterious creatures called pals in this completely new multiplayer open-world survival and crafting game. That's pretty close. To me, it sounds like Pikmin, the developers, said, "Hey, Grok, can you take this description and add a few more words to it, maybe a little buzzwords about fight, farm, and fuck your way to the top or something with our Pikmin?" It's pretty close. The DNA is still very much intact. Now, Pikmin is being published by a company called Network Go, whose name to me already feels fishy. That sounds like the name of the Wi-Fi at my local coffee shop. Like, everything about Pikmin is just so peculiar, and it's apparently a very real game that they're looking to release. And when you watch this trailer, we watched it on stream, when you look at this, you will immediately see that this isn't some kind of Palworld situation where it's very clearly existing in a very similar genre with similar designs to Pokemon, but completely changing the formula to something unique for its own identity. It is actually taking one-to-one elements from these games and then just fucking fisting it into this trailer here haphazardly. It is actually like borderline plagiarizing these properties. It's pretty ridiculous. Have you seen the game Pikmin that's copying Pokemon, Palworld, Breath of the Wild, and somehow Overwatch? I haven't watched the trailer, but I heard about it from a buddy of mine. Let me check it out. Am I on 2x speed? No, that just seemed like it was fucking schmoovin'. Pikmin! I feel like Nintendo's gonna send me a cease and desist just watching this trailer. That's pretty shameless. That is pretty shameless character design there.
I didn't even see the character design. Let me see. Okay, it's literally power. Full screen your fucking shit, buddy.
That's pretty shameless. That is pretty shameless character design there. Who's making this? What studio's making this? Pocket Game. Let's see.
That's a sweet kitty.
They don't even have a website. This is literally just a random Steam dev. This is all they have. A studio with no fear, that's who. True.
I feel like this is just Pokemon, like, trying to ruin Power.
That's actually just Lucario, isn't it? Am I on the crack pipe? It's just Lucario wearing some work gloves.
Are you serious?
No, it's clearly not Pikachu. That didn't look like Pikachu at all. He had like a mullet.
Hey, that is literally Palworld. That guy looked just like the fucking Mossandra. Oh, Gummy's too warm. Is it too warm? Get a little warm in here. Yeah, okay, bye. Because I closed the windows.
Wow.
That is literally the
Yeah, they really stole directly from Palworld and Pokemon. Huh. That is shameless. And that's just Roadhog. That is just source filmmaker Roadhog. Wow.
Wow. That's what I'm thinking. Wow.
Wow. I guess the strategy is get sued for marketing, maybe, is the idea. Oh, didn't mean to click that. There's apparently an after credits scene here. It's probably gonna be Luigi or something. Steal from literally everything. Bro, that's literally Pikachu. I mean, yeah, they did just direct rip many things. Pretty interesting. It feels
2
like
days, you have 1.5 million
stupid
views.
idea. Because, like, Pow World, while it's clearly Pokemon inspired, it's totally different, night and day, to a Pokemon game. This is literally using Pokemon models and direct ripping Pal World game. Like, there's no argument. I still can't get over.
I am dizzy. I am dizzy. I need to eat food. I need to do things. I need to fucking. Every time I close the window, it gets really hot. Because I have a vent going downstairs. 19 degrees. Just shut it down.
I don't know how we were so blind. He said as much as he could without being killed.
Justin Bieber already tried to warn us about all of this 6 years ago.
This is just a taste of the public outcry following the recently released Epstein files. And right now, you're probably asking the same question we were. What did Justin Bieber have to do with any of this? Well, according to the internet, a lot.
There were so many Epstein files connections to Justin Bieber's Yummy video.
In fact, the singer might have spent the past decade of his career trying to warn the public.
He's trying to communicate and wants to say stuff, but can't.
But it's only now, in 2026, that the internet's finally paying attention. Because when you line up the Epstein files with the trail of clues Justin left behind, the overlap stops feeling coincidental. We followed every thread, digging through documents, references inside the Epstein files, and visuals buried in Justin's old work. The pattern gets uncomfortable fast. If this was someone trying to say something without saying it, this is exactly what it would look like. Our investigation started with one search: yummy. It's a word that comes up over and over again in the Epstein files, 344 times to be precise. On the surface, many of these messages appear perfectly innocent. After all, what better word is there to describe fattening yet delicious desserts, dinner dates at fancy restaurants, and home baking? But as our team dug deeper, we stumbled upon messages where yummy had nothing to do with food at all. For example, a message from Jeffrey's accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell, reads, "Just about the only thing the house needs is a yummy guest." This shows another common usage for the word as attractive or pleasing. But while this definition might provide context, it doesn't make the files any less puzzling. After all, what made a bed or hot water bottle yummy? And was it that same thing that made a $12,935 rug soft and yummy? These cryptic messages, along with the emphasis on yummy in subject lines and the repeated usage of the phrase yummy, yummy, almost seemed like code. But code for what? We uncovered some messages that hint at a disturbing answer to that question. I ordered sweet young coconuts from Thailand for you and they just arrived. Very yummy. A woman named Nadia, potentially Jeffrey's former assistant and alleged co-conspirator, Nadia Marcinkova, emailed Jeffrey in 2011. She then added, I was going to ship them to you in Paris, but I hear you were coming back, so I will send them to 71st Street with Sarah, just so you don't have to drink juices from old hairy things. Knowing what Jeffrey did to young women and girls, we can't help wondering if messages like this and references to securing yummy snacks for gatherings or yummy in-flight catering aboard Jeffrey's private jet, infamously nicknamed the Lolita Express, were being used to discuss Epstein and his associates' victims. And all this talk of yummy, yummy, yummy in the Epstein files reminded us of something else. Say, a single by a certain pop superstar. Justin Bieber came out with Yummy back in 2020. At the time, the release sparked concern for its connections to one conspiracy, Pizzagate. And following the release of the Epstein files, people are taking another closer look at the song and its seriously sinister implications. The conspiracy. For those who are unfamiliar, Pizzagate is a conspiracy theory that took off during the 2016 election when internet users accused Democratic elites of operating a trafficking ring out of Comet Ping Pong, a pizza parlor in Washington, D.C., and using coded language, including the word pizza, to discuss their twisted interests in children in emails released by WikiLeaks. These allegations eventually evolved to include cannibal babies and satanic rituals, which made Justin's lead single even more unsettling. Let's start with the way Yummy was promoted on social media. Here we have a photo Justin posted on January 2nd, 2020 of the song title written in pizza, a choice fans now believe may have been much more calculated than it appeared. Then there were the numerous photos of random babies Justin posted with the hashtag Yummy, a tactic that was disturbing enough at the time and now deeply questionable. Fans had to ask, had Justin been trying to tell them something? Suddenly, the internet was digging through every post Justin made involving pizza over the years.
It always feels like Justin Bieber's trying to say something, but he can't really say anything, so he just does stuff like this.
After all, while the specifics of Pizzagate were never proven, the Epstein file did prove one thing. Elites of all political backgrounds have taken part in victimizing children. And more than that, they may have been using similar code words to discuss their depravities.
You know, they're obviously speaking in code, but it's not that much code. You're like, oh man, fancy some pizza? Yeah, I'll sort you out some pizza around at my place.
Yes, as we mentioned in our previous video on the Epstein files, the word pizza shows up in the files over 800 times. For example, on September 30th, 2015, Jeffrey Epstein's butler, Valson Cochran, emailed the financier's personal assistant and alleged accomplice, Leslie Groff. Thank you for the pizza today. Really good. XO. But it's the subject line that now seems truly sinister. Your pizza is yummy, yummy. It's findings like this that have led online sleuths back to January 4th, 2020, the day Justin Bieber released the music video for Yummy. The warning. The video begins with Justin walking through a kitchen to enter an exclusive party. You know, the type of thing Epstein hosted for his high-profile guests and powerful people like Elon Musk inquired about. What day/night will be the wildest party on your island? And like Epstein's gatherings, Justin's viewers are quickly made aware this isn't your typical party. For one, the performers are children who eye Justin almost like they're asking for help. But from what? Or better yet, from whom? Well, just take a look at the crowd. The guests, many of whom are older, wear clothing and jewelry that display their wealth. You could even call them elites. If Justin was trying to draw attention to an underground trafficking ring, these would be the perpetrators. Internet users have even pointed out the unsettling resemblances between some partygoers and real people. This old man, for example, reminds some people of Hillary Clinton's campaign chair, John Podesta, one of the key figures in the Pizzagate conspiracy who sent and received emails that many believe were written in code. Need an example of just how mysterious these messages were? In 2014, a woman named Susan Sandler emailed Podesta. The realtor found a handkerchief. I think it has a map that seems pizza related. Is it yours? They can send it if you want. I know you're busy, so feel free to not respond if it's not yours or you don't want it. Podesta replied, It's mine, but not worth worrying about. There's even a scene in the Yummy video that can be interpreted as Justin drawing attention to a handkerchief. Yet, John Podesta was only mentioned in the Epstein files in passing. Podesta also did not appear in Epstein's contacts list. So, was it possible that the man from the Yummy video represented someone else? Some have compared him to Clive Davis, an American record producer who helped Diddy establish Bad Boy Records.
Clive Davis is largely responsible for Diddy's rise to power in the industry. I think this guy knows more than anyone and holds more power.
And knowing what Diddy is currently serving time for in his close relationship with Bieber.
We hanging out and what we doing, we can't really disclose, but it's definitely a 15-year-old's dream.
Many believe the waiter in the video potentially represented Diddy or even L.A. Reid, the music executive who described 14-year-old Justin as beautiful, like a woman can be beautiful and men rarely are. Some viewers also saw similarities between the way one of the older women in the music video is styled and actress Jenny McCarthy, who was inappropriate with Justin at the American Music Awards in 2012.
A little cougar scary. Yeah. But I took the opportunity in the window, considering I'll never get to do it again, and kind of.
There's even a man in the Yummy music video wearing sunglasses that internet users believe look suspiciously like Epstein. Was this Justin's way of drawing attention to people who potentially victimized him and other children in the entertainment industry?
It was hard for me being that young and being in the industry and not knowing where to turn.
It's not just lookalikes that turned the Yummy video into a lightning rod for controversy. As the video goes on, the guests are served food, which from shape to movement doesn't just come across as unappetizing, but inappropriate, especially given the extreme close-ups on guests' mouths as they eat. Some online sleuths have even connected certain dishes to Epstein. For example, the pink drink Justin drinks and even the round table he's sitting at eerily mirror a photo of Epstein that surfaced in 2021. The image captures the financier with a young girl he treated to a VIP Disney World trip, later flying her home on his private jet, where the child fell asleep on his lap, a moment captured in another haunting photo. Another strange dish from the Yummy video, a green Jell-O with peas floating inside of it, reminded some users of a term of endearment Ghislaine Maxwell used to refer to an anonymous A in an email, Sweet Pea. Given that the email was sent after the Queen's mother's death, A is believed to be Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, the former Prince of England, who was just arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office after allegedly sharing confidential material with, you guessed it, Jeffrey Epstein.
This has serious implications for the monarchy in this country. The reality is this man still is in line to the succession, but for a moment of quirk of fate, he could have been the man who was the king.
And this isn't the only potential allusion to the royal family in the Yummy video. Other party guests can be seen in royal crowns. And then there are the Roman and Greek-inspired statues in the background that suggest if these partygoers aren't noble, they are at least high society. One TikToker even pointed out that these statues
Adoy.
Hi. What are you up to?
Switching devices. Second. There we go. How are you today?
I'm alright.
That's good.
I've been feeling really weird lately. Like, when I get up and I start moving my muscle, because I don't even get out of bed. I'm like literally only using my hands all the time. So when I start walking around, it feels like the rest of my brain starts waking up, and I feel like I'm a different person. I'm like, whoa, did I just wake up out of a dream? No, I just stepped out of my cabin. You know what I mean? It just feels so weird, and it might be schizophrenia. You know what I mean? Like I was diagnosed with schizoaffective bipolar when I was young, but my doctor never seen me. It's not like he knew what was going on with me at the time.
Yeah, he didn't do full test. He just assumed.
He's like, yeah, it sounds like schizoaffective bipolar, because I guess I was, well, what happened was I had a boyfriend that was abusing me. He was like choking me out all the time, and like I worked 2 jobs, and I come home and he didn't have food made, and his friends smoked all my weed, and like, you know, he's partying my house and using my TV to play Fortnite or fucking Call of Duty all day, and he doesn't. And I come home from work and there's often a different chick in my bed. Like it was hell. So that's when I got this. I was just going nuts, to be honest. And I started having really weird dreams where I would kill him. And I told him about it, and he got me locked up in the hospital. I was like, bro, it was a dream. But he literally thought he could get me locked up in the hospital and he could just keep all my stuff and stay in my place. Like, no, bro. The lease is broken. You have to leave now. They're not going to sign you another lease. I don't know. We were like 19 at the time. You know what I mean? Like he was just partying,
Yeah.
using all my money for coke and shit.
I hate fucking coke users, bro. I don't know why, but I just fucking hate coke users.
The thing is, coke is good if you could get coke. That's the thing. No one wants to give up their coke.
Yeah.
And they'll always mix it with something. And if they mix it in with something like flour or cornstarch or whatever, not only is that terrible and you're a fucking idiot if you do that, but it's not good for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what happens when you buy coke is everyone stepped on it, which means when they got the fucking package, they took a little piece out and they put just as much as they took out back in with baby laxative. So they get coke, but they just watered it down more. And then they sell it off to the next person like it's a full brick. But it's not.
Yeah.
And that's what everyone does. Everyone does that, so it's called being stepped on.
Yeah.
Because every step it takes from fucking Mexico, it gets more and more ruined. This says bonus product, triple X hash. That's what I'm smoking today.
It's something I'd never use again, though, is coke. The last time I used it a couple of years ago, I felt like my heart was going to come out of my chest.
Yeah. That's the thing about coke. Like when you do a line, it gives you the same buzz as drinking like 5 coffees. And if you just want to do like a little buzz here and there and not get fucked up on coke, then just drink 5 coffees. You know what I mean? Not every day. You're gonna kill yourself, obviously.
Oh yeah, but your heart would explode on 5 coffees.
Yeah, but if you want to drink 5 coffees to get the same buzz as a line of cocaine, then it lasts longer with coffee and it's legal and you won't get in trouble. Drink a couple energy drinks.
Today, I just woke up, so I'm surprised. I just woke up. I'm feeling a lot better today than I did the past 2 days.
That's good. So. I'm glad you're feeling better. Jimmy's posting a lot of videos in chat, but he's not in the call. I don't know where he is. He said he was going out to a meeting of some kind today. He said he was going to go have a shower at the homeless shelter, and they had something to tell him. Something like that. And he's going to get some food there, too, so he probably have to wait until they serve food.
Okay.
I don't have any weed. I'm just smoking hash right now.
Hash right now?
Yeah, I found this little baggie that said, bonus product, 1 gram of hash.
Oh, nice.
Triple X hash. And I don't know if you ever went on Weed on a Budget and you sometimes see that hash with the gold leaf on it. That's what it looks like here. That little piece of gold.
Nice.
And it smokes. I mean, it's not like amazing. It doesn't get me fucked up, but it smokes.
Yeah. I think that's where I get these from, is Weed on a Budget.
Yeah. I like Weed on a Budget. You know the shit weed you get on Weed on a Budget? They sell that like it's good weed out here.
Do they actually?
If I went to the dispensary, they would try to sell me that shit for like $150 an ounce. I'm like, what the fuck? I wouldn't pay $50 for this. It's got seeds in it. You know what I mean? There's a dispensary across the street that called the Merchant de Cannabis, the cannabis store. And the lady who runs the store is a fucking bitch. Because one day I came in there and I said to the guy who was just working at the counter, I said, "Hey, I'd like to smoke an ounce of sativa dominant this month. You know what I mean? Like, what do you got?" And he's like, "Oh, it's $180 for this ounce, but it's not the lowest quality shit." I said, "Okay, we'll try that." And I look at it, I buy it, I look at it, looks good. Every time I went to smoke it, it was like smoking dryer sheets. It was making me cough and cough to the point that I was heaving in the sink. And it was making me sick. And I thought, maybe I'm not feeling well today. But every time I smoked it for the next week, it was getting me so fucked up. And I called the store. The guy who sold it to me picked it up. He's the one who suggested me this ounce, okay? So it's not like I was out here, like, you know what I mean? You should know that it doesn't smoke if you were going to sell it to me.
Yeah.
But he said, "Oh yeah, we'll see what we can do. Like, don't leave the weed here, and I can't try any of it, but you can come back in and we'll see what we can do." And I was like, "Okay." Um so I come in and he said, "Give us a call or whatever." I waited a week. I called back. I was like, "Yo, like, what's up?" Like, you know what I mean? And then the guy was like, "Yeah, just bring it in. The owners of the store is going to be here tonight." I go in there and she's like, "What do you want me to do about it?" For real. The guy who works there is so nice, and he's the one who suggested me the ounce and stuff. So what do you want me to do about it? So, like, that's literally her attitude. Like, you're not gonna get any money out of me. I'm like, lady, I bought this. You should take it off your shelf at least, because you can't sell that to other people. I'm telling you, it made me sick. But she was being so fucking rude. What a cunt.
All stores, even native stores, when they're like that, right? They're supposed to take it off the shelf. I bet you any money, the reason why she didn't take it off was because she wasn't truly fucking licensed yet.
Like, it seems like it's really hard to get it's the only cannabis store, I think, in like the whole province that isn't like Cannabis NB, the actual official cannabis store. It's like, I haven't seen any cannabis stores around here. That's it. They got Cannabis NB, which is by the liquor store, and that's it. And you're gonna pay, and like, I'm not paying fucking $30 for 2 joints, 2 grams. Like, that's
Yeah, that's
crazy.
ridiculous.
That's crazy. I would rather quit, and I've never said that in my life.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like, I'd rather pick up crack, for real. Crack's easier to get around here. But,
Yeah, I heard about that. I heard crack is really easy to get near you. I'm like, what the
yeah,
fuck?
for some reason, crack's really easy to get around here. I
And I
think it's
heard it's
because I
the
live
number
by the
one thing that
ocean, so
people
there's
are
got to be
addicted
some sort
to.
of boat that just goes down to Florida from here.
Yeah. I heard it's the number one thing people are addicted to there too. Because
It's really bad.
how easy it is.
It does seem like more than one person smoked crack that I've met. It's weird. And my landlord, Simon, he's addicted to pills.
Yeah. I've only smoked it once, and I'm never doing it again.
My landlord, Simon, he smokes weed, but he actually can do without weed for a few days. He smokes a lot of cigarettes, but like I said, he's addicted to pills, and like they're
Yeah.
like speed pills, just Ritalin. He just takes Ritalin, and he acts like he
Oh,
can't function
yeah.
without it, which sucks because he must have a dependency on it now.
Well, what the fuck he needs to do is just tell his doctor, and then he can get it legally, and he won't get arrested.
I think
Or
that
get in
like he
trouble or
does
anything.
get some from his doctor, but he wants more, and he sells it. And
Oh yeah, he can get in huge trouble for that.
man,
Like
he can get in a lot more trouble than that around here. He shot a
Yeah.
bald eagle last year.
What
He shot a
the
bald
fuck?
eagle last year just for flying around because he has 6 cats or 5 cats or whatever.
Well, don't fucking let your cats outside when the bald eagle's outside.
Yeah. Yeah, but I guess the bald
Like,
eagles,
if he
there's
was in
2 of them. He said there's
America
2 of
and
them
he
that fly
shot
up and
that
down the
bald
coast, and he
yeah, if
has
he was in
lost cats to
America
eagles
and he shot
before.
that bald eagle, he would be arrested. He would be
Yeah,
in jail.
for real. Like, you can't even shoot at it. He said he saw it go
Yeah.
down, and my face was like horrified, and he shut the fuck up, and he never mentioned it again.
Yeah.
He was going to ask me if he wanted to take me with him to go over there and pick off some feathers off it or something. I'm like, no. I'm not going to prison for holding feathers.
Bald eagles are fucking some of the nicest creatures you can actually meet. They're very gentle.
Yeah.
The only reason why they will attack us or other animals is because they remember. They're like crows with that
You can see
sense.
their facial features on eagles when you're too
Yeah.
close to their nest. They look fucking
Yeah.
pissed. They
Yeah.
look fucking pissed.
Oh, and they keep your eye on you too. They keep your eye on you. And they remember, families remember what you did. So even if you did something as a 6-year-old and you go back to that area where the same nest, they'll remember your smell. Through
Actually, birds
communication.
can't smell that well. But they do see very well.
Yeah,
They
I think
obviously
it might
have
be
very
sight.
good memory because they migrate.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh yeah, birds, they just die. I forgot. When they smell something, they just die. A little bit of smoke just kills them. I could never have a bird because I smoke so much weed it would kill them.
Yeah.
But I like my aquariums. I got a little
Oh,
jar here full of
aquariums are
shrimp.
fine.
I got 3 shrimp
Aquariums
in
are
there.
fine when you smoke. You got to remember the water will kind of protect them.
Yeah, I
If
got air.
anything,
The
it'll
one time I killed a fish is when I was using acetone in the same room, and he was in a bucket on the floor, and the air pump
Oh
was
yeah, that
also
would
on the
do it.
floor, and it pumped
Yeah.
acetone into the water. And I
Yeah.
heard him jumping and hitting the lid of the bucket, so I put styrofoam on top of the bucket and like put a brick on it so he couldn't get out, and he's sitting there like.
Yeah.
And when 10 minutes later, by the time when I went to go open it up, literally all his skin had fucking flaked off, and I was like, oh. That sucks, bro. I'm sorry. I should have let you out on the floor, I guess. What the fuck? But it was cool having a pet trout. They seemed really smart.
They are very smart. They are very
It
smart.
seemed really
Having pet
smart.
trout
Like it
is
recognized me. Like the other fish obviously recognize you when you go up to the water.
yeah.
And like when they say goldfish, your memory of a goldfish or a goldfish is a 5-second memory. That's not true. They're actually really
No, it's
smart.
more like actually 15 minutes. They
They're
said
actually pretty smart.
scientifically. Yeah, but it's almost similar to like how a pet would recognize their owner.
Goldfish just seem
They
really dumb
recognize.
because like the way they eat, they just go and they just suck up
Yeah,
everything. But the way their digestive system works is it'll just pass anything it can't digest.
yeah.
So like, unless they're eating rocks, he'll be fine.
They're probably one of the smarter. Like I'd say they're smarter than like
Bass in
shrimp.
that, they're so smart. And I've had a betta fish. I taught a betta fish do tricks before. It would jump out of the water
Betta
too.
fish?
Like
Yeah,
I
you
would
can
put
do that.
little pieces of food on my finger and stick it in the water,
Yeah,
and it would bite at my finger. But
yeah,
eventually, I would also do it after I was done feeding it. I would just let her keep biting at my finger, and then eventually I'd take my finger out of the water and just have her jump out at the water at the pellet to the point where I
yeah,
could just go like this, and it would literally just go out of the water and bite it. It was so cool. And
yeah,
it would jump out of the water, and I wouldn't need a piece of food every time too, which was pretty cool.
yeah,
It was just do it for funsies. She just liked being interacted with.
yeah.
Where's
He,
Jimmy? I'm gonna add Jimmy back into the call. Let me hit add
customer
button.
states they needed their battery jumped and they started kicking the fuck out of the battery.
Battery needed to be jumped.
Check this out.
Customer states battery needed to be jumped. Okay.
A bunch of people jumping.
There's like 6 of them. Okay, fuck it. We just start beating them.
Look what I found! Like from Mario! Yeah. Do you reckon there's a secret area down there? There's only one way to find out. It isn't. Cam!
If my memory serves me correctly, and history dictates anything, that building has about 30 minutes before it falls right down in its own footprint, killing everybody inside while the Israelis dance around it. Have a great day.
account.
Tell us. You have a message?
Bubbleism.
Vacuum equipment out, and it's definitely the first time I've ever hoovered a pool with a car in it. They work to get that cleaned up so they can get some nice pictures of the car underwater. It takes about 6 minutes to fully open the pool and about the same to close it again. And once it is fully closed, you can walk on it as normal. It holds up to 250 kilos per square meter. And as you saw at the start, when the pool floor is going down, it does form some steps for you to walk in. And as you can imagine, this type of setup is not vacuum equipment out, and it's definitely the first time I've ever hoovered a pool with a car in it. They work to get that cleaned up so they can get some nice pictures of the car underwater.
You took me deserved enough? You took it on. I don't know anything about you, and I don't know anything about your film. If you go in there with an understanding, you violated that understanding by releasing that film, and I don't respect you for that. I'm sorry, you took an understanding when you went in there that you would not do that film. And did you have an understanding when you went in there? No. Did you crash it? Yes. Yeah, and it has no trespassing signs there too, doesn't it? No, they put yes, bathroom. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, sir. I've been there before. I know what the circumstances are, and I'm sorry you violated the understandings. That was not a gentlemanly thing to do. But what about the ritual? You took me deserved enough. You took it.
So apparently you can blind shredders using fireworks. It's working. Guys, come meet my new friend. This is my new friend Shredder. Just don't get too close to him. It's alright. Just sometimes don't get too close. No.
That's funny. Okay, this is Magic Earring Ken. He's introduced in 1992 and discontinued shortly after. Someone had the bright idea to research coolness by sending people to raves, which at the time was mostly hosted and attended by gay men. So they went to these raves, took notes of what fashions were finally and landed on this outfit. A mesh t-shirt, a purple leather jacket, and this doll became the best-selling Ken doll in history because gay men bought it in droves. Many of them said his necklace is supposed to be a cock ring, but Mattel and a number of parents weren't very amused and discontinued the doll. You're leaving out the best part! Magic Earring Ken, this bitch is gay as hell. The aforementioned rings on him are for magic earrings and clip-on charms. These charms are advertised as totally, completely heterosexual, not gay at all. There's Barbie that also has magic earring action with clip-on charms. Ken wears them to match because he's straight. But here's the issue. There's no matching Barbie. Each earring Ken is out here straight up wearing cock rings on his jacket with a thinly devised advertising ploy to make him seem not gay, but he's definitely gay. And you're thinking, why a cock ring? Well, back in 1992, gay culture was huge on wearing cock rings. It was the in style. Everyone who was gay wore one. Even women, if you sewed them to your leather jacket. The placement indicated some of your sexual preferences. In case you were wondering, Ken is a bottom. And it gets better. Magic Earring Ken was on the shelves for 6 weeks before they pulled him. In that amount of time, Magic Earring Ken became the best-selling Barbie doll that Mattel has ever sold. Let that sink in. For 6 weeks. Now, every time those wheezy old hetero windbag executives go out to look at their sales board, they're forever haunted by Magic Earring Ken at the top of their charts. Gay as hell, a cock ring bottom Ken, best-selling Mattel doll. Pride.
Oh my god, I'm looking. That is such a fuck.
Look how gay he looks. You look it up? I'm gonna look at Magic Earring.
Yeah, it's actually a fucking cock ring. That's fuck. And it has the earrings, real clip-on earrings for you that you could wear with Ken and Barbie on it.
Oh, I thought that was the confusing part I was reading. Yeah, I'm seeing the earrings, the clip-on earrings.
Yeah.
But there is no matching doll for him. Interesting. Yeah, definitely a cock ring. Look how fucking huge it is. It looks like it can go around his wrist.
Oh, and he has the one on his bottom of the jacket too. I just saw that.
Right. What Barbie is that? Good, you covered up the cock ring. Y'all need to tell me which Barbie is that?
Yeah, it's a real thing. I thought it was just like, some Reddit clickbait stuff, but no, that's a real thing. And I think I've seen this on some of my buddies' shelves and stuff too. They collect a lot of stuff like this. I wonder how much it is now. I know it's been discontinued, so it's probably worth a lot. So the replacement earrings, just for the earrings, for one earring that says Ken, it's literally $14. Oh, I'm seeing it now. So $455 now for this thing, brand new in box. But if you want Tuxedo Ken, it's a little bit less from the same era. Or if apparently Harley Davidson did one with them too in 1998. And they did one based off Merlin and Morgan Le Fay.
It's Morgana Le Fay. But that's like the Gaelic pronunciation.
Yeah, Morgan Le Fay. Yeah, Morgan.
Morgana Le Fay, yes. But that's if you believe all the folklore and shit.
No, we were just
It's
talking.
literally just folklore of Wicca.
Barbies. She's telling me about Barbies, and I looked how much up it is just for that Barbie doll, and it's $500. But then
That's just stupid marketing. Like, why the fuck would you make Barbie's not even worth that much anymore?
They discontinued it. It was on the shelf.
It was only on the shelf for 6 weeks.
Why? Because people are fucking superstitious that it's haunted or some shit.
No, she can tell you the story. It makes sense when you look at it now, though.
Okay, so they had a.
Well, if they can make stripper Barbie, they can fucking make a whip.
Were having problems selling Ken dolls, so they sent some people to go to a gay bar to go to study how attractive men look.
Oh, so what is it? LGBTQ Barbie or something?
No. So in 1992, it was really popular for gay men to wear cock rings around their neck, and the placement of the cock ring also determined what sexuality, if they were a top or a
How the fuck
bottom.
do you wear a cock ring around your neck?
It's a cock ring on a
bigger
chain.
than your cock.
It's on a chain. It just
kinda
displays
like
how
how
thick
nowadays
you are.
people
It
wear
just displays
pacifiers
how
around the
thick
neck.
you are. They're wearing it on a necklace.
It's similar to wearing your
Similar
wife's
to wearing a pacifier around your neck to show that you're
or wearing your wife's ring around your neck to symbolize that you still love her even after death.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
this is a cock ring, and The cock
Well, no
ring.
one shouldn't.
Anyways,
No one cares.
so
that they're gay.
he's
They
wearing a
get the
leather
dick
jacket,
and-
a fishnet shirt underneath the leather, purple leather.
Yeah, that sounds like
Fishnet
Germany.
shirt. He looks really fucking gay, is what I mean to say. And the packaging had 2 earrings attached to it. They're clip-on earrings for you and your partner. One of them says Ken, and one of them says Barbie, right? Matching earrings. But there's no matching Barbie for this Ken. He looks gay
Probably
as fuck.
because he's gay.
And it sold out within.
Ken's
It was.
gay. That's why he's flat in the front.
They pulled it off the shelves because people kept saying that's definitely a cock ring around his neck. That's a common thing for gay people to do at the time. And
yeah, well, why would you fucking
gay
sell
people
that
were
to
buying
kids?
this thing in droves.
That's why they removed it. That's why
It's
they
the
removed
best-selling
Hell,
Barbie
it's like when they
ever
had
to
Sprinter
exist.
Barbie. They fucking removed that too. She even
It's
came with
the
a rotating
best-selling
pole.
Barbie ever. Ken
Barbie
sells.
has always been trying to sell a whore. Or a side girl. It's basically Tampa Bay housewife. Or Florida housewife. Depends on which model you get. If it's Tampa, it's likely going to be a black Barbie.
No, they had to stop because it was selling sex to children.
Well, also
Well, what do you think the
the
idea
owners,
of a
the owners the owners of Barbie are men. Like it has been owned by men for a
Well,
really
yeah,
long
it's
time,
no different
and they're
than
really homophobic. They don't like being called gay for owning Barbie.
Well, I mean, it's kind of a running joke that Ken is gay.
Meanwhile, they wanted to target the LGBTQ community by going into a gay rave and trying to.
Dude, it's just called inclusivity.
It doesn't make sense. What the fuck is their problem?
If collectors want, it's called diversity, bud.
No, I'm saying because they were like they didn't.
What, people
They canceled it because they weren't gay and they didn't want to get called gay. But meanwhile, they sent somebody to look at a gay bar so they can sell to the gay community.
Well, what are they supposed to know what to make it look like if they don't know what it looks like?
Well, yeah,
maybe they were so
take it
such
off the shelf saying
heterosexual
they
men
don't
that they had
want to be
never
known
seen a
as
gay man.
That's what I'm trying to get at. They took it off the shelves mostly because they didn't want to be called gay.
They are gay though.
They are. I know. They technically are. They had to go into a gay bar to know what that
Good
looks
Morning
like. So
Mythical released their 3,000th episode.
It's like that. Isn't that exclusion then? Because there's.
It is. Technically, yes, it is.
But why should we include sexual preference in everyday life? Shouldn't it be something that is kept in the bedroom?
Hello
between
everyone, it is
people?
spring at Michael's and we
you know what I
have
mean?
purple chicks. They didn't have them last year, so I am stocking up this year because we need purple chicks!
Not always.
And what am I going to do with them?
Society
of course,
has
I bring them
existed
into the
with
dice tent.
sexuality
It is
and
time
privacy
to pick our
for a very
7
long time. Like
contestants and pull their feet off. Here's the
Roman
thing,
times,
they got
they
blue
had
differently this year.
fucking
I've honestly
liaison
worked with a lot of
shoots
chicks and I've never had to
secret
cut
messages
their
in
feet
to
off
go
before, but here I am
fucking
cutting the head off
secret
of these
location
before because that's just what we
if they
do
got
here.
caught in jail.
Now, a lot of people freak out because they're like, they're full of air, and I'm like, I know,
Literally,
air's not
like,
in my dice
scooping in the
because I have to
streets
do
was
this
not
to get all those little bubbles
good
out.
back there,
It
like
takes a
frowned
while,
upon.
but in
Nowadays,
the
you'll
end,
see.
we have resin-filled little fluffersons that
Nowadays,
are going to be
people,
going
like,
into
are
the
more
dice. I
adventurous.
try and make their faces near the high number, but
Almost
I
to
don't
the
know, I'm
point of a
guessing when
hell
we get to this
hazard.
point. Also, sorry that everything is kind of
I mean,
out of
girls
focus.
got to
This
be
is chaos.
compensating
And
for
is it
something if
messy?
they're sticking
Yes,
something
it is,
15
but I
feet
literally
into
don't know how I
themselves.
would do this without being messy. So there's the head.
I mean,
I made it too big. I'm gonna have to
something's
remake
just
this
not adding
D4,
up.
but I'm really excited to see what
And
these
how
look
am I
like
supposed
with
to
the little
compete with
purple
all these
freshness.
newfangled toys they got? Men don't even have any
Michaels, and we have
contraptions.
purple chicks. They didn't have them.
Because she was based off of something called Build Lily, which is a German doll based
Hello,
on
everyone.
a doll
Let's take a
comic
look at the
strip.
That makes
purple
sense,
Easter
'cause
chick
Germany's
dice
all
set.
fucking about
I
that gay
absolutely
shit.
love making these little cursed
After the
things.
war, they're
And
like,
one of
what
my
are we
favorite
gonna
parts
do?
is actually
Be
that
gay.
the faces aren't glass smooth because all the little phusms from the chick
And
are
then
pushing
they
up from the
slap
other side
themselves.
of like inside the
they ever
dice.
go, oh, you gotta
And
go this
I think of it
direction.
as
Oh,
a
shit.
feature rather than a bug. It's one of my favorite things. I
and
also
then,
remade
like,
the
so
D4
when
on
Ruth
this set,
Handler
and it's looking
adapted
for a
this
home
for
right now. And I can
children,
also remake
she
it for you
kept
in pretty much
the
any chick color.
adult
So let me
female
know.
form, making
Hello, everyone.
Barbie the
Let's
first
take a
doll to introduce young girls to the concept of a grown-up body with breasts.
Well, there you go. That's that. See, you give kids a toy that is portraying an adult form wearing adult clothing. This is why kids are dressed. This is why teenagers are dressed like fucking they're 20.
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Remember the days when, kids like 50, 60, they had corduroys. You could tell, there was an age demographic for clothing. because of
My
people like
twin
Louis
and I
C.K.,
used
it's
to
all
have
fucked up.
matching Oshkosh overalls that were like
How old was she wearing
corduroy
those?
overalls that were like soft, but they were like
Yeah, like
they were
that's
90s. Like
kids
one of
clothing,
them
right?
was pink and purple, and the other one was purple and pink. And I don't know, I just thought that was cool. I always wore pink when I was a baby. Between me and my twin, we're not even surprised that they're trans because when my parents got us things, we're twins, right? We'd fight over something. If one of the things broke, then we fight over the thing that's not broken because it looks the same as ours, right?
So if you're
So
twins,
what they used to
when
do
one
is
person
they used to
when you
get
touch yourself,
two
does your
different
twin feel it?
colors of everything so that every time we would have something of a color, we would know, oh, the pink one, the red one's mine, and the blue one, the purple one, the green one's my
Yeah, so you can
twins.
differentiate.
Yeah, so the green one, the purple one, the blue one's always my twins, and the red or the pink one is always mine. It's from the 90s, bro.
And
So
now
my
there's
twin
less
learned to
differentiation.
fucking despise pink because I'm their twin, okay? So they learned to fucking despise pink. It's my stuff. Everything that's pink is my stuff. And they're trans. This is kind of weird that they grew up to be trans. But is it because we genderized toys? Like
Yep.
we gendered
That's what
toys
I'm
in the
saying
90s.
about the Barbies.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying about Barbie. Once we started introducing the idea that, these girls are playing with these grown female toys, it puts them into the mindset to dress that way.
Right.
Right? And it's poisonous.
It's
toxic. It's why it's why we have Amber Alerts. You know what I mean? You put 20-year-old clothing on someone who's too young to be wearing that shit, it puts an instant target on their back.
I guess, but pedophiles don't always go for whoever they find attractive. They just go for vulnerable.
No.
Pedophiles are mainly targeted towards children.
They
Rapists
they go for
are
who's vulnerable.
towards
It's
grown
not
people.
the sexy clothing that turns the pedophile on. If anything, they don't.
No, it's the fucking stuff I'd rather not mention.
Yeah, what I mean to say is, it's not the sexy clothing that turns a pedophile on. It's you can't blame the children. Is what I mean to say is you can't blame a child for an adult's actions. I don't care if the child's wearing a fucking
the child
two-piece
can't say
bikini.
anything back because it's so traumatized. It's an easy prey.
I don't even care if the child's wearing a
That's
two-piece
why
bikini.
they do it.
For real, like
Because they
kids
have
can
an
wear
in.
whatever they
And
want
now
without
that we have
being
these
threatened.
men, there's a certain portion of men that are becoming trans. Not all of them, but a small percentage that are perverts that are getting changed so that they can intrude on women.
So that's
That's
just
true,
Trump
yeah.
rhetoric.
I don't believe
that's just
that
all Trump rhetoric.
everybody does that. No, but there
You
are
don't
still
need
perverts.
to dress up in a trans outfit to go into a women's bathroom. Rapists do that all the time. They don't dress up in a women's
That's what
outfit.
I'm saying. It's
But
fucked up.
what I mean to tell you
There
is
should be some sort of
He's just
trans.
saying not all the trans movement is doing that. It's just a small handful.
Exactly. And it's
like
not
a small handful of Muslims are extremists. You
I
can't
can't say that
blame
all women
of
are
them
good
for that.
people. I'm not going to say all trans people are good. Women,
Yeah.
they're people.
Neither.
They're people.
I'm not
It's
saying
a category.
that
It's
not
not
all
like
of them are,
it's not like a diagnosis. It's a category of person.
No. I'm not saying anything about that. I'm saying more the right wing nut
This is
jobs
what I
in the
understand,
crowd
okay?
that are just predatory.
When men have
not the
trauma,
true,
when men
you
have
know-
early childhood trauma, it comes out as a sexual fetish. I don't know why. When men have early childhood trauma,
those
it
people
turns
should
into
be chemically
sexualized fetish.
castrated
If they
so
were,
don't
if
do
they
that shit.
were fucked like they were a woman, and they grew up thinking, "Oh my God, only women get fucked." Oh, I'm
Dude,
growing up.
guys
They
get
feel
fucked and we
confused
don't
about
complain. We
themselves
just say we
growing
got
up.
laid.
They have dysphoria.
Unless
They
we
have
got
trauma.
fucking
They
rear-ended.
experience trauma. They're continuously living with it because men don't get therapy. Men aren't allowed to get therapy as well. So
Yeah,
now
men
they're
also
gonna
get over things a
identify
lot
with
quicker.
themselves as a
'Cause we-
traumatized and victimized person. It doesn't mean they're a woman, but they have
Yeah, and I'm not judging
dysphoria.
anybody
It's called
who's a victim. I'm just
it's called
trying to
dysphoria because they
differentiate that men
can't.
get over things and trauma a lot quicker than women because women have a longer emotional cycle.
I don't know. I think
Right?
men and women are the same.
Men
for real.
process. You're right when you say men have to process things faster in that moment because that's the male
No,
mind
I
has
mean
to.
they don't get therapy like women do. Men don't go
No,
for therapy. They
because
don't talk about their
men have been
problems.
made the.
I'm not saying they
men
should.
have
That's
been,
just what happens. So a man isn't
it's
going to
just
talk
how the
about.
cards fell because men got too powerful and abusive of their position. and now it's kind of happening with a small
I swear to God,
demographic
you
of the
haven't
younger
shut your mouth
generation
this
that
whole
is
time
like,
I've been
we
talking.
deserve the world for doing nothing. Maybe not for doing nothing, but for, like, there's just the layabout generation, and there's the generation that fought for women's rights, and fucking it was like needed. Nowadays they're crying and moaning and complaining. It's like, oh, I don't make enough money. Well, get
The
a
reason why
job.
women didn't
Look
have
what
rights
Becca's
is
doing.
because
She's
the
got
king didn't want them
multiple
to
things
have
on the go.
rights. Then the prince of, sorry, the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth II or whatever, she got in charge. Now we got women have rights. Guess what? There's a king in charge again.
Actually,
No wonder
women's
why
right
Epstein list is
happened
running
before the
rampant.
king.
There's a king in charge. He's a fucking pedophile. He fucks kids on Epstein Island.
Yeah, but that's
Nobody's gonna have
neither
rights.
here-
I think they bring women up to men. Because here's men, here's women. They bring women up to men,
then they
but
fight
they're gonna
against
bring
each
you
other.
both down. Is what's gonna happen. You're not gonna have any rights. And as soon as they start
Well, I
convincing
think the
people,
people that
oh,
still
trans
bitch
people
about
don't
not
deserve
having
rights,
rights that have rights shouldn't be bitching, because there's nothing to fight about anymore. Women have their rights. They may not have as equal pay, but they're also not. A majority of them are not willing to do, or a
You know
small
how
majority are
most
not willing
communism
to do
starts
the hours
with
and the
stuff
work
like that?
I
that men
can't
do.
go to
people's
Carpenters
the
Union. You want to
availability
tell
and the
me I got
jobs are
kicked out of the
there.
Carpenters Union because I can't? You're gonna tell me I got kicked out of the Carpenters
I
Union
didn't
because I
say
can't?
can't.
It's
I
because
said
there was a
some
sexual
won't, because
abuser
they
on my
choose
team and I
not to,
called
and
him
they
out.
choose to live the easy life.
So they fired me
You,
because
on
I
the
called
other
out a
hand,
rapist
have
on my
things
team.
going for you. You have your online stuff. You have your artwork. You're
I swear to
actually
God,
doing
you
something.
just keep
You know,
opening
being
your mouth and
productive.
you're not even talking about the same subject. Do you remember what we were talking about? We were talking about Barbie. We were
Yeah,
talking
and
about
that
Ken,
conversation was over a
Barbie,
long
and
time
this
ago.
and how the
Now we're
trends
just
were
talking.
back
Now
then.
we're talking about politics.
I guess so.
Anyways, back to what Becca said about the females and how they're just taking away our rights. Most communism starts with capitalism, then socialism, then communism.
Yeah, well, it's a constant cycle of, it's not good enough. That's what it always is, and then things tighten down, and then they're like, oh shit, we should have just appreciated what we had when things were at their best. Because then communism comes in, and then we're all fucked. You know what I mean? Like, if
But
people
yeah.
just see things for the silver linings and not for, like, it's not the 50s anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I wish it was, because
there's a
those
lot
were
of
the
fights
simple
that
times.
don't need to be fought anymore.
My grandpa
Especially in the
told
Middle
me
East.
shit about the 50s. You used to be
Like, it's
able
been 2,000 years, and they can't just fucking go off their own resources, let it go.
Rourke, you haven't
Jesus.
shut your mouth this whole time. Like,
The
nobody can
50s
talk.
Why are you getting upset?
Because you're
best-
sitting
You
here
have no right to
talking.
get-
Look,
I'm
you're still
just
your mouth is
talking.
still
Keep
moving when other
talking.
people
You're
are talking.
bitching.
Your mouth is still moving when other people talk. You don't
Who
listen.
cares? Who
I'm
cares? I've been
sitting here yelling, and my cat is
You're
like,
yelling at me for no reason,
because
Becca.
you're talking when other people are talking.
Good for you. I'm talking. I have every
Good for
right
you.
to.
Then wait, like you talk over people. You don't wait
Well,
for them
it's
to
not
finish
my
their
problem if
sentence.
you can't
You
handle
don't wait for
three-person
anybody to finish a
conversation.
sentence before you open your mouth again. And I can't even finish what I'm saying. And you'll often miss what I'm trying to say because you're talking over me while I'm trying to say what I'm saying.
Good for you.
And then
You're talking over
stuck
me.
thinking about something else. It's not even a conversation. You might as well talk to a wall.
I don't care, Becca. You're just being argumentative.
You might as well talk to a wall, bro, because you're not listening.
No.
You fucking talk like your mouth is open the entire time I have a conversation with you, Rourke. I have to yell over you for you to listen to what I'm saying.
Yes, you read the title correctly. My Island's dream address has been deleted by Nintendo.
This story involves threats, an international investigation, and, obviously, green hydrangeas. So buckle in because this situation is going to go deeper than you expect. I released my island tour video 2 weeks ago, and with it, I revealed the dream address for my island. For the uninitiated, a dream address is a code that allows anyone with a Nintendo Switch Online subscription to visit a snapshot in time of your island. And explore however they want. Until 2 days ago, nothing seemed unusual at all. Many people had left lovely comments telling me that they'd visited my dream address and had a wonderful time exploring. But then, 2 days ago, I got a comment telling me that my dream address wasn't working. At the time, I simply brushed this off as them inputting the code incorrectly. I mean, this was clearly a them issue. I hadn't changed a thing, and so many people had visited with no problems. Right? Well, when a second person commented that my dream address wasn't working, I started to get suspicious. What was the likelihood that 2 people in such short succession were both inputting the code incorrectly when up until now nobody had complained of such an issue? So, I paid Luna a visit to check that my dream address was still live and to double check the code. And everything was exactly the same as before. Naturally, I went to bed and I didn't think any more of it. But when I woke up, there was a third comment telling me that my address wasn't working. Now shit was getting real because, to quote Ian Fleming from Goldfinger, once is happenstance, twice is coincidence, 3 times is enemy action. Racking my brain for answers, I visited Luna a second time, and again, nothing had changed. I started Googling the terms dream address not found, dream address error, but nothing helpful came up. Theory crafting, I began to consider other explanations. Perhaps there'd been another 3.0 update patch that those unable to use my dream address had not installed correctly, but no such patch existed. Now you might be thinking, why didn't you visit your own dream address and check yourself? Well, as it happens, dear viewer, you cannot visit your own dream address, so this was not an option. And I wasn't about to buy a new Switch, a new Animal Crossing game, and a new Nintendo Online subscription to check this for myself. I quickly began to realize that I couldn't conduct the level of investigation required on my own. Luckily, someone kinda cool once invented this crazy thing called the internet, so I did what anyone in my position would do, and contacted my Italian bestie, aka the diva that is Aid Wildworld.
Ciao diva, ho un problema con la mia isola.
Aid quickly jumped into action to test my dream address on her end. To my horror, she was met with the following chilling message from Luna. I hadn't changed a thing. What was going? Chilling message from Luna. I hadn't changed a thing. What was going on? Aid also used the search by island name function to manually scan for my island, but my island was nowhere to be seen. The only reasonable explanation at this point was the one I'd been desperately fearing, because, despite my inherent British cynicism, I do my best to try and abide by the principle set out by Hanlon's razor, that being, never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by incompetence. But now that incompetence had been ruled out of the equation, malice, in the form of someone manually reporting my island, seemed the only feasible explanation. But who the hell would do such a thing and why? Again, the magic of the internet is such that we will never know for certain. However, I had received several concerning comments on TikTok in the run-up to me releasing my dream address. Like any good creator, I'd been teasing my island tour and dream address reveal across my socials, as I was really excited to show everyone what I'd been working on. What I was met with was a series of comments that made me laugh out loud at how absurdly insane they were.
What was that?
Now, I need to be absolutely clear. I do not think the person who left these comments is the culprit of the report. They might be, but they just as equally might have left these.
What was that?
Now, I need to be absolutely clear. I do not think the person who left these comments is the culprit of the report. They might be, but they just as equally might not be. I am showing you this message to help demonstrate how the internet has bred a certain type of person who is able to hide behind a burner account and act in a way that they wouldn't ever dare to in any other arena of life. Please do not speculate or accuse anyone of being the reporter. Sadly, the door to the truth will forever remain sealed. But it is also good to remember that for every rabid and depraved anonymous turd on the internet, there are hundreds, if not hundreds of thousands of well-intentioned, lovely people. But because the nasty ones sometimes shout the loudest, it can be easy to forget this fact. I returned to Google, disappointingly enlightened by the unsavory prospect of foul play, and struck jackpot on a forum thread from 2020. The discussion centered around a creator who'd been banned for placing her username as her comment on her in-game passport. If this sounds confusing, let me explain. When you visit a dream island, the owner's character can be found strolling around. If you speak to them, they will recite the short message saved in the passport. Everything began to fall into place. Before I'd saved my dream address, I did what I thought was customary and inserted my username, followed by the word YouTube as my comment. I've visited many dream addresses and seen similar messages myself. So I made the naive and ignorant assumption that this was not only harmless but actually standard practice, particularly for creators such as myself. Moreover, several days prior I had received a comment on my island tour video that read, "I casually found you through a surprise dream, and when I talked to your character I knew I had to check the channel. Worth it." For context, when you visit Luna to go to a dream address, she offers you the option to visit a random island that someone has uploaded. When I uploaded my island, I opted into my island being shown to people at random, not really expecting anyone to find it via this route, let alone make it to my YouTube video as a result. So that is why this comment made me so incredibly happy, because seriously, what was the chance that out of the hundreds of thousands of islands, they'd not only be given mine, but they'd talk to my character, then find my tour video, and then take the time to leave such a sweet message. Internet magic! But that very internet magic had, to my astonishment, now stabbed me in my metaphorical back. Searching for official confirmation of my theory, I went to my emails, and there it was. An email from Nintendo verifying my suspicions. I had shared or conveyed content that was intended for advertising or promotion. Fair play, you got me. Whilst the email itself does little to explain the series of events that led to their removal of my dream address, my research online has led me to the conclusion that this was almost certainly the result of a manual report. The likelihood of this bolstered by the considerable influx of traffic to my island following my tour video. So is this the end of the story? Well, no. I sat down yesterday feeling hyper defeated by all of this and asked myself, what next? The email from Nintendo explicitly stated that, in the event that this violation is repeated, you may face penalties including being restricted from using Nintendo account services. I learnt through my research on forums that Nintendo has a very strict two-strike policy, so if I re-uploaded my dream address again, having removed my offending comment from my passport, and anyone reported it at all, I would be at very high risk of having my online access permanently revoked. Was that a risk I was willing to take? Would someone manually investigate the veracity of subsequent reports, malicious or not? Honestly, without official information to confirm the report investigation procedure and zero route for appeal, this does not seem like a risk I'm willing to take. But if anyone watching knows more about this, I would love to hear. But let's say that I can safely re-upload my dream address having removed my YouTube channel's name from my character's passport. Well, another serious, self-inflicted issue arises. If you watched my now infamous island tour, you'll know that I spent hours of my life digging up several hundred blue hydrangea bushes in order to replant them and save my dream address on the one day where they would be green. Hydrangea bushes in the game have several growth stages, one of which is a green phase, the day before they bloom into either pink or blue. My island was designed to be a green, fertile and volcanic place. So green bushes weren't just a nice to have, they were absolutely mandatory. In the days leading up to me saving my dream address, I had already strategically planted hundreds of blue hydrangea bushes, my calculations being that they would pre-bloom into green at the start of June. To my utter despair, my bushes did not cooperate with my plan. They turned blue immediately, skipping the green phase. I still do not know why they did this, and at this point, I do not really care to investigate further. But I knew what I had to do to achieve my green dreams and immortalize my green island with green bushes for eternity in my dream address. So I dug up every single blue hydrangea bush and replanted fresh hydrangea starts and time traveled to the green phase. And guess what? It worked. I saved my dream address. I had done it. But now it's time for me to make an embarrassing confession. Every day since I uploaded my island tour, I have reset my island to keep it on Green Day. Yes, I have been living the same day in Animal Crossing for over 2 weeks now. I'm simply not ready to say goodbye to them yet. I want to record more footage and bathe in the glory of my creation. If I go back or forwards a day, the green will be gone. So what's the problem then? How is this relevant to the deletion of my dream address? Well, my dear viewers, green bushes are, as we've established, an absolute non-negotiable for me and anyone visiting my island. But guess what? You can only upload your dream address once per day. So, if I ever want to release a second, non-violating version of my island, I will be forced to sacrifice all my bushes. Or venture into
I've actually never seen Cats. Not even the movie. I want to be 8 now. I don't even think I'd enjoy it. Now that I would enjoy. Harry balls. Harry balls. Don't do this to me. Yeah, do they still have those? Are V8s gluten free? I want a refund. Okay, but look at the mouth underneath the N and the foot underneath the A. Like, what the fuck? At least I can finish my seconds here. What do we do about this girl's island?
The pits of despair, which is again replanting every single bush. So, this is the end of the story. For now. Thank you for making it to the end of this lengthy fiasco. If you're still...
Why did it get deleted?
We have a wheel of games that chat submitted to me. I don't.
We got any new videos? 18 hours ago. Why is it always spiders? Okay. I wanted to watch Resident Evil. Whoa, Eclipse. Resident Evil. Next in for the grinder. Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Resident Evil. Resident Evil. What happened to
All right, so let me show you this. This is
brother?
fascinating. A lot of you didn't know about this. Mr. Beast's brother who disappeared. Here's a video he posted. This is his first video. I am Mr. Beast's secret brother. This is so fascinating to me.
This is my brother. Come here. Don't be camera shy. See him? Hey. Tell him to make a YouTube channel. He's at college and he's gonna have like a horrible job one day. Hi everyone. Make a YouTube channel. Make a YouTube channel. YouTube channel.
Alright everyone, what's up guys? Yeah, y'all ready for this video today?
Wait, we don't do that here.
Oh, my bad. Hey everyone, my name is CJ. I'm Mr. Beast's unknown brother, and we're gonna see what happens. So I used to work at Walmart, but now I've decided to take a leap of faith just like my brother did and start my YouTube career. Unfortunately, I'm poor, so I decided to do a dumbed down version of my brother's videos.
Last one of you to take your hand off this house gets to keep it. I live with my parents.
Last leave gets the house. Begin.
Now hold on, I want to point something out to you. This is the best part. Here we go. You ready? Okay, this guy here who's doing this video. This is all you need to know. This man here is now the producer and writer for Mr. Beast Games, the Amazon-funded multi-million largest prize pool in television history. This man, I'd say he's qualified. I mean, just look at the final product.
Bruh. Did I win? No.
Tyler wins. All right.
Insert intense music.
I would not. I would stop. I would save my brother. I would never do this to my brother. Bro, if I had a compound billion-dollar fucking multi-billion-dollar companies, I would stop my brother. I'd be like, bro, just take the paycheck. I got you. You'll never have to work again.
What the war? All right, last to leave, Cup Ford wins.
Go.
No, slow motion. Who won that?
Who won?
I won!
Wait, what were we playing for? Pride?
This is a Tesla Model 3. Last one of you to leave this car gets to...
I'm not going to make a joke.
Keep it.
This is a Mini Cooper 4. Contestants, are you ready?
For what?
Last to leave gets the car.
Oh, what the?
Yep.
I'm in a better spot.
Tyler, how are you doing?
Doing very good. I found the best spot, and I'm fatter than him.
Zach, how's it feel?
This was a different time. Well, let's look. So this was his first video. Everyone's first video is cringe. So
You guys will be playing a game
let's give him a chance. We'll go to his last video.
in the desert. Let's do it.
This desert is brutal. Water.
Is that a mirage?
I see water.
Wait, is that corn behind me?
You guys will be playing a game of Battleship, but if you destroy a ship in the game, we blow up one of the real ships over there.
We're about to play the world's biggest game of Battleship, and winner gets a brand new car.
I wish I remembered this guy existed because I want to know, like, did you kill him, Jimmy? He's disappeared. What happened to him? Where is he? What happened to him?
Contestants, are you ready?
It's hot.
All right, let's make it.
Okay, so we get the point. Pretty rough stuff. If I was Mr. Beast, I'd be like, bro, you're actually hurting the brand by releasing this, so just don't release it, and I will pay you to not do it. Here is his last video he ever made. Let's see. I'm sure it's better. I don't think I've seen this one. This came out.
My friend.
The other one was the other one was 6 years ago. This one is 4 years ago. Isn't that the other one, Chandler's brother? Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And every time they spin this wheel, they have to do a random challenge, and whoever hits the grand prize first wins $10,000.
Who wants to spin the wheel first? Me.
Can I go?
Yeah, you can go. All right.
Oh. No!
So, Gio, you have to shave your beard.
I'm gonna look so ugly.
Time to shave your beard.
Oh my God.
There you go.
Oh no!
Can I just keep it like this?
Gio, are you going to keep the mustache?
I have to hold on to something. All right, your turn.
No. Who's next? All right, go ahead.
Let's go.
What you have to do is be in a shower for 1 minute, fully dressed.
I'm gonna be wet all day.
That's not my problem. Get in there. Have fun. All right, guys, who's up?
I'm up. Watch out, Pat.
All right, spin it.
Calling him Mr. Least is mean. Yeah, it's all right. Let's see what most people tuned in for. Here we go.
Gio, you have to put on fake fingernails. You can still spin, but you have to wear them for the rest of the competition. Also, it's been 5 spins, so here's your key.
Thank you. Boo. Wait, I thought you were supposed to watch Mr. Bro.
This is much better.
All right.
Make me look pretty, please.
Why are you getting all over me?
There you go. You're all good. You can spin again.
What is this? Oh, no.
Alphabet. All you have to do is just say the alphabet backwards. Go.
Z, Y, X.
M, L, L, C, Z, Y.
It's looking good.
No!
Was the most rewatched a Mr. Beast joke? The most rewatched part is where your brother's on screen.
Spin, so here's your key.
Thank you.
Bro, that's devastating. Nah, bro. Nah, I want to know internally what happened. Did he stop this because it wasn't doing poorly? Mr. Beast platformed this so much that like these videos have this has 4.1 million views. This video has 4.1 million views. That is larger than my most viewed video by a mile. This video, I imagine this is what it feels like to be like a talented musician or something and just seeing like talentless hacks rise to the top and sell out stadiums with the most slop shit ever. There's probably people in my chat that can relate with that better. Like incredibly talented singers or musicians watching just like the same song rise to the very top over and over. That's how I feel watching this. It's like for Mr. Beast is a talentless hack, clip it and ship it. The irony that you think this is a Mr. Beast video is actually my entire point. And that's what makes this so weird. The fact that you coming in think this is a Mr. Beast video proves like part of what I'm saying, which is this whole thing is weird. His brother made a channel, copied everything he did down to the editing style, down to the challenges, had moderate success because Mr. Beast promoted him, and then disappeared. I've never seen him in the background, on set, anything for any of his videos ever since this happened. Mr. Least, like they're on his property. This is being filmed in Beast Studio, I imagine. Maybe he committed a crime. Ooh.
I'll get you out, Emily.
Oh, Gummy man, you're so cute, little kitty. I like petting you. You're just a nice little kitty. Oh, little kitty. Oh, little Gummy kitty. Look at the little man down here. I'll show you my little man. He's just a fuzzy little man. Okay, my TV's in the way. I can't point the thing down. Oh, look at that little man. He's such a good little guy. Oh, I zoomed in. Oh, little kitty. What are we gonna watch now?
In the 1990s, an HIV drug was part of a fascinating and baffling chemical mystery. Abbott Pharmaceuticals launched ritonavir in 1996. It was life-saving. 75,000 people were on it. Magic Johnson was on it. It was a miracle drug. Until June of 1998, when a batch of the drug failed its quality control tests. If you cut a capsule open, you were supposed to get a gel, but instead, they were getting a white paste. So the scientists at Abbott put this paste under the microscope and saw these sharp, needle-like crystals that they had never seen before. They did a bunch of chemistry and realized that these crystals were in fact the drug. This was ritonavir, but it was behaving completely differently than ever before. Now this is bad because solid crystals of ritonavir are completely useless. They cannot dissolve in water, so they don't get into your bloodstream. So even though the crystals are chemically identical to the ritonavir of the past, they were basically not the drug anymore. And then things got much, much worse. After the first batch failed, that production facility could no longer make the original drug anymore. Every other batch also failed. And then things got much, much worse. After analyzing the crystals in the lab, that lab couldn't produce the original drug anymore either. So the company sent some scientists over to Italy, where they had another production facility, to see what the US folks were doing wrong. And that's when things got much, much worse. A few weeks after that visit, the Italian facility couldn't make the original drug anymore either. It seemed almost as if there was some sort of failure virus attaching itself to company scientists and infecting whatever lab or facility they happened to visit. It turns out that what was happening was this. This is charcoal. It's mostly carbon and it burns really well. You know it burns really well. I'm not going to light this on fire in my basement just to prove it to you. And recently, Joe Hansen asked if I wanted to burn a different form of carbon, a diamond. Obviously, yes. If you want to burn a bunch of diamonds, you can't just heat them up with a Bunsen burner. You also need to run a stream of pure oxygen over them while you heat them up. So both of these are carbon, but they have extremely different properties because the carbon atoms in each of these substances are bonded to each other in completely different ways. Molecules of a drug can do the same kind of thing. The exact same molecule can form multiple different crystal structures, and that can give you different properties, solubilities, melting points, even different colors. Chemists call different crystal structures of the same molecule polymorphs. This is one polymorph of chocolate. This is another, or at least it was until it melted over my hand. This one is better because it's shiny, it doesn't melt in my hand, and it has a satisfying snap to it. Ooh. These crystals that the Abbott scientists saw under the microscope were a totally new, never-before-seen polymorph of ritonavir that the scientists called Form 2. Now, when you make a drug, you usually make it in solution, and when it is dissolved in a liquid, there's no Form 1, there's no Form 2, there's no polymorphs, none of that stuff. It is just the drug in solution. But to purify the drug, you need to get it out of solution while leaving all the stuff you don't want behind in solution. And the classic way to do that is called crystallization. This is a sodium acetate solution. It's actually a supersaturated sodium acetate solution, which means there is more sodium acetate dissolved in this water than this water can dissolve. That sounds impossible by definition, but actually it happens all the time. What I did to make this was I heated up the water, which increases the amount of sodium acetate that it can dissolve. Then I dissolved that larger amount of sodium acetate in the water, and then I let it cool to room temperature so that I can do this again. Now, you've seen this before, but what we're looking at here is crystallization. When you add a seed crystal, you are giving the molecules in solution a surface that is already in its crystal form that they can snap to. And as more and more of them snap to it, that surface grows and grows and grows until everything that can come out of solution has. The seed crystal that you add is a specific polymorph, and molecules come out of solution by snapping to that specific polymorph. So in theory, you should get back whatever you add. Add a seed crystal of form 1, you should get back crystals of form 1. Add a seed crystal of form 2, you should get back crystals of form 2. That is how it's supposed to work, and that's mostly how it does work in chemistry. But every time the Abbott scientists tried crystallizing form 1, they always got at least some form 2. Make ritonavir in solution and evaporate off the solvent, they got form 2. Use a form 1 seed crystal to try and crystallize form 1, they still got form 2. Use your lucky Erlenmeyer flask while wearing victory red underwear, still form 2! But where did form 2 come from in the first place? This is a reference to the television show The Office. Amazingly, it probably resulted from something called heterogeneous nucleation. This is a supersaturated sodium acetate solution, and you already know what happens if I add a seed crystal of sodium acetate. But what if I instead add a seed crystal of sodium chloride table salt? Let's find out. It worked! Oh my god, I can't believe that. That was awesome. This is heterogeneous nucleation, when crystallization of chemical A is caused by a seed crystal of chemical B. Now let's try menthol. Oh, that time it really worked. That is incredible. The crystal sat on top and then it nucleated from there. Sucrose. Wow, look at that, nothing. This chemical is a degradation product of ritonavir, and when the Abbott scientists added it to a supersaturated solution of ritonavir, they got form 2. That was a drum roll. So the first crystal of form 2 was seeded by this chemical, and then the Abbott scientists brought it back into their analysis lab. What happened next? We are not exactly sure. Maybe they ground it up in a mortar and pestle, maybe they filtered it through a Buchner funnel, maybe they did something else that would have aerosolized submicroscopic seed crystals, which might then have gotten sucked up by the HVAC system, spread throughout the entire building, and attached themselves to people's clothes, hair, and skin. And then, when those same people traveled to Italy, maybe those seed crystals fell off into the production lines, and that's what caused the Italy plant to fail. And at that point, Abbott was stuck with form 2, because it turns out that form 2 is actually more stable than form 1. But if that's the case, why didn't form 2 come out of solution first? Like, why didn't the original synthesis of ritonavir produce the more stable form 2? Well, a German chemist asked this very same question around the turn of the 20th century. Wilhelm Ostwald noticed this weird trend that the least stable polymorph would crystallize out of solution first. Energy diagram. Ritonavir in solution, 2 different polymorphs, form 1, form 2. These little humps right here, this is the activation energy. It's the energy you need to spend to get from ritonavir in solution to either polymorph. And as you can see, the activation energy here is lower, so it's way more accessible to get to form 1. And the reason for that is because form 1 is closer in energy to the ritonavir in solution. That is Ostwald's rule. Now here's the thing. The activation energy over here is way higher, so you could go months, years even, never getting to form 2, even though it's more stable than form 1, because the activation energy is so high. But, a seed crystal dramatically lowers the activation energy. Now, it's way lower than form 1, so you're going to go all the way down to here. Form 2, it's the more stable form, and you are stuck with this. Once form 2 is there. It's ready to seed any solution of ritonavir. This is not the first time that one polymorph has completely replaced another. It has happened before. In one case, scientists prepared a polymorph of a compound called benzocaine picrate. They then prepared a second polymorph by heating up the first one. After they'd prepared the second polymorph, they could no longer prepare the first one. So they cleaned the entire lab thoroughly, destroyed all samples of the second polymorph, waited about 10 days, and then tried again. And it worked. In another case, scientists were working with a polymorph of N4-methylbenzylidine 4-methylaniline when it disappeared. They happened to be switching to a new lab a few miles away, so they hired a new student by phone, prohibited her from ever coming to their old lab or meeting anyone who had worked in their old lab, told her to buy all new glassware and try and make the old polymorph in the new lab. She successfully did. In my favorite case, scientists actually sprinkled some powder of a new polymorph onto an old one and then watched as the old one transformed into the new one within minutes. Imagine sprinkling some diamond dust on some graphite and then the graphite slowly turns to diamonds. That is how crazy that is. Now, these were small, isolated incidents, but ritonavir was a big deal, especially to the 75,000 people who were on it. Could have easily been life or death for them. Now, luckily, Abbott had a liquid formulation, but that tasted terrible, so after a lot of work, Abbott finally was able to make an amorphous version of ritonavir, which is still on the market today. It's actually used as a booster for other antivirals. For example, it's in Paxlovid. Now, drug companies try and avoid this whole situation by doing extensive polymorph screening. They try and find every possible polymorph of a compound before it goes to market. But there's never any guarantee that you find them all, so another ritonavir could happen at any time.
What happens when the world suddenly gives birth to an entire
being underestimated? Because high functioning, low functioning doesn't matter. There is still areas in which people with, everybody's got their niche, right? You can't like say someone's incapable of doing something. You don't give them a shot. That's why I missed out on shop class and shit, because they're like, "Ooh, he would do you shop class." It's like you assume too much. I fucking was doing woodworking shit like that from like the age of 8 years old. I built a shed with my foster dad.
Yeah, so
And
you want to hear something funny talking about school? I had all the teachers when I was trying to get my final credits. They're like, "Why are you even coming to school?" And I was like, "Why? What do you mean by that?" They're like, "Well, first of all, you're too smart for school. And you know that, and that's why you're always falling behind, because you just feel like even if you do it, you'll be ahead of the class, and you just
yeah,
don't want to be ahead of the class."
I'm guessing you were bumped up to like grade 1 or grade 2 early as well.
I was bumped up from grade 2 to grade 4 or 5, dude.
Yeah, like that's similar to what, because I was learning like grade 3 or 4, like shit about like just like the basic stuff for
Yeah, I was
Egyptology
doing
and
high
shit.
school
And I was
history.
learning that in like grade 2 because they bumped me up from like senior kindergarten to grade 2 class.
Dude, in grade
See how
8,
I fare,
I
and I
did
did
grade
fucking
12
well.
history, and I got an A+ on grade 12 history in grade 8.
Well, grade 12 history is easy as fuck. They just
Not
go
the one
over
I
the
did.
Great
I did the
Depression
one
and
where
World War II,
like
which is your
history
forte.
as a whole. No, it was history as a whole. It was world history.
No,
It
they
was
don't teach
it
us
was the
world
one.
history in Canada, man. They only teach us Canadian history.
No,
They
this one
may
was
touch on a
history.
couple of
Like this,
topics in
no,
world
no, no. This
history,
is
like
the one
World War
about the
II and World War
natives.
One, which involved the whole world.
No, that it wasn't just that. I can't remember what they would call it, but it was
They touched
history
on the
and
natives, I
something.
know that.
It was history and something. It was called.
Oh, well, maybe that was an advanced history class or something.
Yeah, but I got an A+ in that. It was talking about the natives. It was talking about World War
Yeah,
One,
did you
World War
have,
Two,
which teacher did you have?
Cold War.
Which teacher did you have? Did you have Mrs. Risma?
No, this was way before I came to you guys. This was in grade 8, dude.
Oh, yeah, because you didn't go to Northwestern, or you went to
Till
St.
grade
Mike's.
10. Yeah, I went to Northwestern in grade 10.
I thought you went to St. Mike's
No, I
from
went to
Northwestern
Northwestern.
because you transferred or something.
No, I didn't.
Wasn't
No,
there
I
one
always
of the
had
kids
Mr.
that
Ritzma
went to
as a
Mike's and
principal.
would always come home with the shirt on?
I had Mr. Ritzma as a principal, and then it was that
Mr.
other
Richmond
guy.
was a good principal. His
He
wife
was,
was even
and then
better.
that black guy.
He made
What's
a
his
better
name?
principal than a fucking mayor.
Who's that black guy that met Obama? That worked with
Zampa?
the. Was that Zampa?
There was the only black teacher there, man. That was
No,
Zampa.
there was a principal with glasses. He met Obama and he served in the military and he worked for the CIA apparently.
I don't recall.
Yeah, I just remember because like I was like, dude, you know like how I know
Are you sure
worked
you're
for the
just not
CIA
remember?
or
Sure you're just not
FBI?
having
It's like
Vietnam
not every
flashbacks?
person gets a fucking Purple Heart from the president.
No, you get a
himself.
Purple Heart for being injured in war, or being
He
killed, or
was
being,
injured,
or
though.
being. It's
He
for
was
having
injured. He
grievous
had
injuries that
He was injured.
are life threatening and can give you. It basically gives you a free card to get. Okay, you've done your service. Here's your Purple Heart. We don't require you to be in service anymore.
Yeah.
Or
He
if
had
you
more
lose
than that,
a
though,
leg,
bro.
they
In
give
his
you a Purple
office,
Heart.
he had the Purple Heart there. He had a silver
Typically, it's when
star.
you're dead.
Yeah. No, you don't get
If
it
you
when
die
you're
in
dead.
battle.
You get it while you're alive. There's many people who have it while they're alive, but 90% of them are actually dead, yes.
Yeah, see, the thing is it's handed out like knighting now.
Yeah. If you're alive and you have one, you've been one badass motherfucker.
Yeah, where your body says no and your mind says no and your body says no, but you're like, fuck you.
Yeah.
It's like the story about that guy from World War II that was just like, fuck this, he ran over to the trenches and fucking threw a bunch of grenades. I don't know, I just kind of pulled that one out of my ass. He's like sitting there trying to recollect that one. He's like, I don't know. That's a random recollection. Imagine if they stuffed a bunch of grenades into some guy's ass and just chucked them over into the other side. Yeet! Ja, den Himmel! Achtung! I'm pretty sure God Himmel means my God in German. The only reason I surmise that is because I was reading a Simpsons comic once, and Rainier Wolfcastle said that after Bart keyed his car. It either means my God or God damn it.
Yeah.
I mean, what would you say if your key got card or car got keyed? Key card.
But yeah, I think that guy worked for the CIA for sure because, like,
I remember when the keyed car was just a toy.
see people shaking somebody's hand and getting a medal from the president. So usually that's federal levels. He probably worked for the
Well, a
FBI.
medal from the president just means you kissed a lot of ass for your country.
Yeah.
I
Usually
mean,
people that are in federal levels. That's why I said he was either CIA or FBI.
no, a Purple Heart usually means you were grievously injured in battle
So he
and
was probably CIA
continued to fight.
Like I said, he was probably CIA then. That's the only.
Well, you don't have to be CIA to get a Purple Heart.
Well, I'm just saying because you don't usually, even Marines, they don't get it. They just get it sent to them, and then they get it.
Well, yeah, because they died on the battlefield. If you don't die on the battlefield, it comes home with you.
They're alive. They
Say
don't.
you lose a leg, you still get your Purple Heart to come with you home.
No, I'm saying, but even if those people, so most people when they're alive and they have that Purple Heart, when they get that Purple Heart, dude, they don't get it directly from the president. That's usually people.
No, that's if they've done some outstanding works of some kind, like in Forrest Gump, when he helped his buddy when he had lost his legs, and he's like, "I'm not leaving you behind," and he carried the whole fight basically.
Yeah.
Now that's a movie example, not based on reality, because one guy couldn't do it.
Now it's not like that anymore. Now it's usually it's very, very rare to see that.
Rare that they go back for the bodies and shit. Now they'll just grab your dog tags and go and send them back to the family.
No, you don't have to be dead to get a Purple Heart, dude. That's the thing.
That's typically what it means, is not that you're grievously injured in battle and that you have basically ultimately served your country to.
Lost a limb.
Yeah.
Right? Like that could mean that since you lost a leg or since you lost a foot, you no longer
extra
can serve
generation
for that
overnight.
Yeah,
Forget
but now
a
they
baby
have
boom.
prosthetics.
This is a
so that's
baby
not an excuse
tsunami,
anymore.
and humanity
Yeah,
isn't
but
ready.
they
Governments
recommend-
spent decades
they
bracing
can't
for a
stop you
population
from
decline.
joining, but they tell
Instead,
you
they're
we
hit by a
recommend you not to come
1,000% surge in births.
Because
Hospitals
you're-
collapse
you're-
under the
you're
pressure,
basic- your
supplies
leg could
vanish,
easily just
and
pop
infrastructure
right off.
begins to
Well, if you
buckle.
lose your
On
other
today's
leg,
episode
there's
of the
no going back.
Infographic Show, we're looking into the
Yeah.
global chaos if birth rates jumped by 1,000%. Many countries
the
are
reason
starting to
why
become
I think
anxious
he
about
got the
younger
Purple Heart,
generations not
the,
having kids. In most
peaceful-
Western
Well,
nations, birth rates have
mostly
dropped
veterans.
below replacement level, pushing
Right,
governments
and
to
people
juggle
that serve
immigration with concerns
long-ass
about
tours
national
in
stability.
multiple
In
countries.
parts of
Guy
Asia,
wasn't
some
young
countries are
either. He
staring
was
down
in
an
his
economic
50s,
cliff
but he
if
looked
That's
people
what I'm
don't start
saying.
taking
It's when they
reproduction
reach
seriously.
like that
But
age
what if
that
that
they're more
trend suddenly
eligible because
reversed?
they have more
In our
experience
alternate
and
reality,
they-
Gen Z and Gen
Yeah,
Alpha
he was
are
like,
repopulating the
"Oh,
planet
this
like
guy
it's
am Jason."
10,000
I was like,
BC.
"You look
Birth
30,
rates have
20." He's
exploded
like,
by
"Thank you so
1,000%.
much. Thank
This
you so
phenomenon
much,
is
but my
global, but
20
let's
You look
focus on the
16
US and the
still. You
UK.
have not
A
aged
large
a day.
nation and
You
a small
literally
to
look
medium
the
one.
exact
And
fucking
despite
same.
what you
Can't even
say,
grow a beard,
size
damn it.
matters.
Bro,
The
you know
UK,
my
like the
thing.
US, was
I
facing a
don't
You're
population
Jewish, but you
slump
can't grow a
with
beard.
just
Is
under
that one of those beards that they
595,000
grow?
births
But
in
I don't celebrate
2024.
birthdays
It sat
anymore.
below replacement level. But by
Why?
2026,
Because you
that
just
number
count
leaped
each
to
birthday is cutting a day
6.8
closer to your
million.
death.
Over 5
No,
years, the
because
US
each
will add
birthday, when you blow the
180
candles,
million
it's a
people.
ritual,
The
so you,
UK
when you
will
get
add
older.
34 million.
Fucking
Life
bullshit.
will
You
change,
gotta stop believing
and not for the
superstitions
better,
and everything
especially
to
where
be on
health is
TikTok,
concerned.
bitch.
I
Before the
haven't done
baby
it since
bomb,
then, but then
the
other
UK's
people
National
around me
Health
who
Service
are
was
doing
already
it,
on
I'm
life
watching them
support.
age and get
News
gray
outlets
hairs at my
routinely
age.
reported patients
Dude,
dying on
shut
waiting
up.
lists,
It's all
unable to
genetics.
see a
You got
specialist.
good
In
genetics. Don't be
2023,
so fucking
120,000 people
non-humble.
in England
You're
alone
good.
died while waiting for care.
Yeah.
One politician called it a
Dude.
national tragedy, noting that record numbers of the population were spending their final months in pain and agony. The US had its own crisis, but with a different flavor. Without universal health care, even the insured weren't safe. By 2025, around 90% of Americans had some form of coverage, but nearly 500,000 still declared medical bankruptcy each year. Over 23 million people had medical debt over $1,000. For 6 million, it was over 5,000. For 3 million, over 10,000. Medical bills were the leading cause of 62% of all U.S. personal bankruptcies. Access was another story. In recent years, about 36% of U.S. adults skipped or delayed medical care due to cost. For the uninsured, that figure was a staggering 75%. Both of those numbers were the highest in decades. Even so, emergency rooms were turning people away. Staffing was a disaster. 100,000 nurses had quit during COVID, and by 2027, over 610,000 more had expressed intent to leave. Most of them were burned out, frustrated with insufficient staffing. Meanwhile, in 2025, media reported that 742 rural hospitals in the U.S. were at risk of closing. with over 300 at immediate risk and 146 recently gone. So when the baby bomb hit, both the US and the UK health systems were in dire trouble, and it just got worse. In the UK, hundreds of thousands died on waiting lists as hospitals overflowed with babies, children, and pregnant mothers. In the US, many died without care at all. Hospitals simply couldn't cope, and there just weren't enough nurses, midwives, or doctors. So the excess death rate skyrocketed, especially for the poor. Before the explosion, infant mortality sat at 5.6 per 1,000 births in the US and 3.9 in the UK. Within a few years, those numbers doubled and then tripled. A decade later, they had quadrupled. For many, civilized healthcare was over. The system just couldn't deal with the extra numbers. To put it into perspective, with a 1,000% birth rate increase, the average American woman wouldn't be having 1.6 children like she did in 2024. She would be having 16.6 screaming bundles of needy, expensive joy, spending many of her best years as a baby factory. In the UK, the number would be around 15 children per woman, which might have worked in the Middle Ages, when most kids died before reaching 5, but it's a little less manageable now when child survival rates are vastly higher. Overcrowding will trigger the spread of disease and widespread malnutrition. Still, it won't be quite as grim as Victorian London, when 150 to 160 infants died per 1,000 births. That said, slums are making a comeback in the late 2020s, especially for the poor, and especially in the UK. But why especially in the UK? One thing that surprises many Americans when they visit Britain is how small the homes are. The average UK home is about 818 square feet, among the smallest in the world. The data includes the larger homes in more affluent areas like Surrey and Buckinghamshire. For most people, the standard is a cramped 3-bedroom home, often connected to another house or a part of a long line of terraced houses. It's not ideal for our new baby bomb reality. The average American home is about 2,200 square feet, almost 3 times that size. They often come with basements, attics, and importantly for our future, relatively large gardens. But in both countries, housing costs will skyrocket. After the pandemic, supply was already tight, and the wealthy began snatching up homes like panic buyers snatched toilet rolls. In 2026 and beyond, the rich will panic buy even more, driving up prices to insane levels. Governments will eventually launch massive housing projects, but it'll take time, and to make building possible, things will have to get ugly. More about that later. As we say, most working-class British homes have 3 bedrooms, one of which is often about the size of a special housing unit prison cell. With 15 kids in 10 years, that'll mean 3 or 4 to a bed, and others sleeping in the living room, the kitchen, or the hallway. Well, that's nothing new. By the end of the 19th century, entire families sometimes lived in single rooms in British slums, from East London to the many mining and textile towns across the country. Something similar to that will return, just a cleaner version with less consumption, cholera, typhus, and typhoid. Sure, these diseases will make a comeback, but it won't be as bad because we can easily treat them. However, getting medicine won't be easy. Americans will do slightly better. That extra space will help with hygiene, illness rates, and overall sanity. That's not to say 16 kids per woman in 10 years won't feel tight, but at least there will be more room. And there's feeding all those new children, which is going to be very problematic. And as you'll soon see, child labor will also make a comeback. Now let's talk cost. In the US, according to the Brookings Institution, raising a single child to age 17 costs between $310,000 and $390,000. That's about $17,000 to $21,700 per year. Now imagine having a new kid every year. In the UK, the average is a bit lower, $200,000 to $273,000 per child. But when you're churning out a small football team of hungry hippos, even slop starts to get expensive. Solutions will be needed. In 2023, 13.5% of U.S. households, around 18 million people, experienced food insecurity. By January 2024, 15% of UK households, nearly 8 million adults and 3 million children, were in the same situation. If those numbers are any indication, the future isn't just crowded, it's going to be very hungry. So what do? We bring back child labor. Now don't worry, we're not going full Dickensian. According to the book The Making of the English Working Class, 12-year-olds once dropped dead after 15-hour textile shifts. But that was then, when human rights were a pipe dream. In our new economy, the kids won't be sweeping chimneys or spinning yarn. They'll be changing diapers, watching younger siblings, cleaning the house, and doing odd jobs to keep the chaos in check. They'll also be growing vegetables. With strained supply chains and empty shelves, families will need to become radically self-sufficient. For people with no garden, the allotment will make a glorious return. Governments will hand out garden plots. Kids will grow up with green fingers. One of the good things about all this will be a commitment to family and even a return to community spirit. Of course, there will also be a dark side. Illegal child labor will surge. Some parents will sell their kids into work, or worse, but for most it'll simply mean more work, less school, and an exhausting fight to fill bellies. Education, unsurprisingly, will collapse. In 2024, 43 million Americans, about 21%, were categorized as illiterate. In the UK, outright illiteracy is lower at 1%, but 18 to 26% across England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland have very poor literacy skills. With overwhelmed schools, skipped classes, and children working instead of learning, those numbers are going to skyrocket. Even if kids can get to school, they won't learn very much. Right now, the average class size in the U.S. is 21.2 students per teacher in elementary, 26.8 in middle school and high school. And although if your school has a metal detector at the door, it's probably more than that. In the UK, it's not much better, about 26 to 27 kids per teacher in primary and around 24 per class in high school. So, in 10 years of the birth explosion, classes in elementary school will be out of control, taking space from the other students and eating up resources. And we're already short on teachers in the early 2020s. In the US, 86% of public schools report not having enough. In recent years, 38% of teachers aged 25 to 35 have said they plan to leave the profession. In the UK, only 59% of teachers are still in the job after 10 years. So what happens when the population explodes? An education Armageddon. Sure, in the long run, we'll need to hire more teachers and build more schools, but that costs money. And when you've got an avalanche of young people who don't pay taxes, that's not happening anytime soon. More kids will be homeschooled, which means the older ones won't just be caretakers, they'll be teachers too. Tech will help with online classes and virtual tutors, but let's be real, half the kids are going to skip them. The other half will be watching TikToks of people arguing with rats instead of learning fractions and reading. IQ rates in the West are already reversing for the first time in recorded history, and when the population goes boom, expect that decline to accelerate drastically. Also, as school psychologist Jonathan Haidt has pointed out, kids glued to screens instead of playing with each other can make them more anxious, more isolated, and more depressed. If about 20% of American kids aged 12 to 17 have diagnosable mental health issues now, imagine what it'll be like after the population shoots up. So, more device time isn't the answer, but it'll have to do. And there's crime. In 2020, the U.S. murder rate was around 5.75 per 100,000, but in poorer neighborhoods it soared past 30 per 100,000. In the same year, the UK murder rate was about 1 per 100,000, but violent crime overall is the worst in Europe, especially in areas hit hardest by poverty. In places like West Yorkshire and Greater Manchester, the crime rate during the 2020s reached over 114.5 and 108.2 crimes per 1,000 people, respectively. The resulting wave of crime will trigger vigilantism and lead to the expansion of an already bloated prison system, but we'll come back to that later. There may be one institution that benefits from the chaos: the military. For years, both the US and UK armed forces have struggled with recruitment. It turns out Gen Z wasn't so keen on soldiering. But in the new reality, governments will bring back mandatory service, something the UK hasn't done since 1963 and the US since 1973. These new conscripts won't just fight wars. They'll double as riot police, disaster responders, even firefighters. The uniform will be a catch-all tool for maintaining order in a society on its knees. And that is just the beginning. With countries bursting at the seams, the global scramble for resources will be intense. The biggest militaries will protect their resources, while weaker nations will be plundered by the stronger ones under the usual banners, spreading freedom, democracy, and ousting dictators. During World War II, about 3.5 to 4% of Europe's population died. In our new world, mass death won't be a tragedy, it'll be policy. Governments won't admit it, but the system will benefit. War industries will boom, jobs will be created, and population pressure will ease. Let's not forget the numbers. With a 1,000% birth rate increase, the world will have 1.35 billion new babies in a single year. In 20 years, without accounting for any deaths, the US alone would grow by over 400 million people, and the UK by 76 million, more than doubling its current population. So yes, military deaths and deaths of despair will become a reliable and welcome population shaver. Harsh? Yes, but that's the reality. Meanwhile, inequality will soar, and resentment will rise with it. To keep order, governments will rely on massive police presence, and just like that, society slips into a full-blown police state. Technology will lead the way. Mass surveillance becomes the norm. Robocops won't look like they did in the movies, but they will be real. Think autonomous trucks, drones, and sentry bots scanning behavior, running it through algorithms, and deciding in seconds how to react. And we're already halfway there. In the US, drone as first responder or DFR programs are already being tested. Right now, they just observe, but soon they'll be armed, enhanced with machine learning, and capable of lethal action with minimal human oversight. And where do all of those arrests lead us? In our new future reality, prisons swell to town-sized complexes, housing thousands. In 2024, with 531 people per 100,000 behind bars, the US already had one of the largest prison populations per capita in the world, and the largest overall by far. In the UK, the number hovered between 130 and 135 per 100,000.
Oh my god, they're talking shit about me.
Becca, what are you, the word police? Count my words, see if you lose count.
I'm not counting your words. You seem to, I'm not even listening to those. You seem to miss the entire point of why I was counting the words. I was counting Jason's words, not yours, because he wasn't able to say fucking 4 words before you talk over him. He usually can only even start responding to you, and you're already talking over him. You might as well talk to yourself. Do you not understand? I'm not saying this to be mean, but you're insufferable lately. Like, you need to check yourself. I don't know what it is that made your attention span so short. It's probably all the fucking alcohol you drink lately. But you really need to stop and let people talk, okay? Like, I honestly have better conversations with toddlers. You seem to miss the entire point of why I was counting words.
Count my words, see if you... That's what you gotta do to keep your mind busy. You. Literally 5 minutes of you take a break. Feel tender to me skin on her. Take a turn. I'm not even listening to those. You seem to miss the entire point of why I was counting the words. I was counting Jason's words, not yours, because he wasn't able to say fucking 4 words before you talk over him. He usually can only even start responding to you, and you're already talking over him. You might as well talk to yourself. Do you not understand? I'm not saying this to be mean, but you're insufferable lately. Like, you need to check yourself. I don't know what it is that made your attention span so short. It's probably all the fucking alcohol you drink lately. But you really need to stop and let people talk, okay? Like, I honestly have better conversations with toddlers. And Rourke, like, you can just say that I'm trying to be a bitch, but I honestly cannot even be in this fucking call with you because no one can talk. You'll just start saying random shit, and sometimes I feel like you just want to be a part of the conversation. You'll say something that's not even fucking relevant at all. Okay? It's like, can you just close your mouth and listen? I understand you have learning disabilities, but it was never this bad. This is intentionally ignoring other people for their time to talk, and it's so frustrating. I don't want to be in the call when you're around. And Rourke, like, you can just say that I'm drunk. And I respect you enough to want to ask you to do better, okay? Because if you were just fucking nobody I don't give a shit about, I would just fuck off, okay? Because I'm a total flake. This is just really frustrating because you used to be my friend, and you can't even let other people talk. It sucks. I honestly cannot even be in this fucking call with you because no one can talk. You'll just start saying random shit, and sometimes I feel like you just want to be a part of the conversation. You say something that's not even fucking relevant at all, okay? It's like, can you just close your mouth and listen? I understand you have learning disabilities, but it was never this bad. This is intentionally ignoring other people for their time to talk, and it's so frustrating. I don't want to be in the call when they're around. And I respect you enough to want to ask you
to do better, okay? Because if you were just fucking nobody I don't give a shit about, I would just fuck off, okay? Because I'm a total flake. This is just really frustrating because you used to be my friend, and you can't even let other people talk. It sucks. It's just annoying, Rourke, when you think out loud when other people are talking. Do you understand? Stop thinking out loud.
Those rates could quintuple or even reach 10 times their current level, feeding a booming private prison industry.